Lineup for yesterday by Ogden Ash. A is for Alex, the great Alexander. More goose eggs he pitched than a popular gander. B is for Bresnahan, back of the plate. The Cubs were his love and McGraw his hate. C is for Cobb, who grew spikes not corn, and made all the basemen wish they weren't born. D is for Dean, the grammatical diz. When they asked who's the tops, said correctly I is. E is for Evers, his jaw in advance, never afraid to tinker with chance. F is for Fordham, and Frankie and Fish. I wish he were back with the Giants, I wish. G is for Gehrig, the pride of the stadium. His record pure gold, his courage pure radium. H is for Hornsby, when pitching to Raj. The pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. I is for me, not a hard-hitting man, but an outstanding all-time, incurable fan. J is for Johnson, the big train in his prime, was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for LaHoy, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite Ken. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mack. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. U would be Ubel if Carl wore a Cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty, short, closed to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of 2 X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent Psy. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there. These men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Ash, January 1949, Sport Magazine. Hey Braves fans, I'm Mac Magee with Braves Country. We'll be right here on the key all year long giving you Braves Country baseball, pitch by pitch, inning by inning of your Atlanta Braves. Make sure to catch Braves Country right here on the key. We go live 3 to 5, and we'll keep you up to date on the upcoming schedule for Braves Country. That's Braves Country HD and Braves Country baseball right here on the key. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with one inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first, and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer cooled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With the smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner.
You're in Braves country.
Good afternoon. Hope everybody is having a great day here in Braves country. How about it? We go into today's game. You know, this is literally, if we would have taken 2 of 3, I'd be saying the same exact thing. But we have taken the first 3 of a 4-game series, and we are literally playing with house money. Literally. We lose today, it's really not the end of the world. If we lose today, we would have taken 3 out of 4. We would have taken the season series against the Dodgers, which means any kind of tiebreaker comes down to that. And who saw that coming after we lost the first 2 of 3 to LA way back at the beginning of the year? And we were thinking not only do we think we'd have a hard time winning this series, but at the time you were like, man, we're going to be trying to chase them down for best record. You're going to be out there trying to, get out and have a good series, but it's going to be at the end of a long road trip. And instead, the Atlanta Braves are on the verge of possibly sweeping the Dodgers. And it's not who had first been alluded to at the beginning of the series. They had talked about putting Bobby Miller last night and Clayton Kershaw tonight or this afternoon. Instead, it's Bobby Miller. We went to a bullpen game, which, by the way, the Dodgers bullpen did a phenomenal job last night. We'll hit up that game real quick. But they did a phenomenal job as the Braves. If you missed the game, it did go late. I finally got to lock into it around the 7th or 8th inning. We had a get together, which is why I couldn't do the broadcast. And I finally got to lock in and start watching on the 7th, but I had an eye on it the whole time. The first thing I do want to mention, what about that home run by Acuna? Ronald Acuna Jr. hit that home run last night. And I didn't know until after the broadcast when I was listening to a couple of things and going around on the Twitterverse and all that not only did it go 454 feet to dead center, which is no difficult feat at that. But not only did he do that, it was the hardest hit ball in Major League Baseball this year, leaving the bat on a home run at 121 and a half. We'll round it up, 122 miles an hour. Holy cow. And that is scalding. Y'all know that normally when I give the home run call, I normally tell you how hard it is off the bat. All the StatCast stuff kind of pops up in front of me. And I tell you what the feet are. I tell you how many home runs the guy has. A lot of times I include the RBI depending. But I usually always mention how many home runs has at that point. How many feet did it fly? Because we've always been accustomed to that. And I've added the exit velocity. I didn't... I still don't like. I'm still not in love with the launch angle. I think that's incredibly overrated. That is literally the stat nerds who don't realistically understand baseball getting too deep into the weeds on that particular statistic. But those other 3 statistics I always give, and I can tell you to a man, typically, and I'm talking about hard hit home runs. I'm not talking about ones that barely get over. I'm not talking about ones that are balloon shots. I'm talking about hard hit home runs. They are typically off the bat around 111, 110 to maybe 112, 113. I've seen some 114s. 122 miles an hour is absolutely absurd. It almost makes you wonder if the machine that tracks that was broken, or did Acuna break it? Because that is an absolute scalder. When you go back and you watch the replay of it, and you see how far it landed, but you also realize as you're watching it how damn fast it got out there to dead center field. So an unbelievable series for Acuna. He's really putting his stamp, in my opinion, on the NL MVP. He could put an absolute chokehold on it with a good performance today. He has hit a home run in all three of the series, or all three games in the series. One of them was a grand slam. He has been an absolute monster in this series, and I'm hoping he gets to put the icing on top of the cake today. What I hope to see is a sweep, but that's not as important for Ronald Acuna Jr.'s MVP candidacy. I hope to see a sweep, obviously, because we want to continue to cut down that magic number. But after winning the first three of the first four, it's not as like it doesn't have that same, man, we got to get this win. My God, what are we going to do? But not only do I want to see a sweep, I want to see him outperform Mookie Betts once again. When the series started, Mookie Betts, though they lost the game, had really gotten the better of Acuna because he went 2 for 4 and he hit 2 home runs. Since then, he's 0 for 7. So I hope that we get another situation where Ronald Acuna Jr. is besting Mookie Betts and the Braves are besting the LA Dodgers. But at this point, and I checked the numbers in Vegas. At this point, Ronald Acuna Jr. has once again moved slightly ahead as the favorite in Vegas to win the MVP. Now, we still got about 30 games left, a little less than that. We have what, 27? 26 after today? But he could put an absolute stamp on it with another. He doesn't necessarily have to hit a home run, but if he has another good look, he's sitting there with 32 home runs, 63 stolen bases, 85 RBI, and that's up against Mookie Betts with 38 home runs, 98 RBI, 10 stolen bases, batting .313. Ronald Acuna's batting .337. I don't see how you give Betts the MVP, especially after this series. Because what was in front of them, they are now 7 games behind the Atlanta Braves. Even if we were to drop today, we would be 6, but it'd really be 7 because we would win any tiebreaker. If we beat them today, you're talking about jumping to 8, which is really 9, and that'd be insurmountable. It's damn near insurmountable as it is. The Dodgers are in an absolute must-win situation. We'll get into the lineups and whatnot, but they are swinging their best bats at us today. I was wondering if maybe a couple of guys might get a day off. No, sir. They are all in there. The ones that are available. Obviously, J.D. Martinez is still on the IL. But so it's going to come down to Charlie Morton versus Bobby Miller. And Bobby Miller's got really good stuff, but he's also a rookie, and he's had some ups and downs. He's sitting at 87 2/3 innings, 79 strikeouts. I'm a little surprised by that number because when you watch Bobby Miller, he's got blow-you-away stuff. but he's averaging a little less than a strikeout an inning. Charlie Morton, on the other hand, is doing Charlie Morton type things. 147 innings, 165 strikeouts. He's always, since he's been with Atlanta, has always averaged little over a strikeout an inning. His whip is much higher than Miller's, meaning he's putting more ducks on the pond, but he has kept the ERA down. He's 3.29 versus 4. Charlie Morton's 14-10 with a 3.29 ERA, a 1.36 whip altogether, whereas Bobby Miller's 8-3 with a 4 ERA, a 1.19 whip. Biggest tail of the tape that I always like to look at, because I usually think it's pretty telling sign. If you're looking for splits, you're looking at what do they look like. I find this interesting. Bobby Miller at home, his ERA is much higher. He's sitting at a 5.28 ERA in Dodger Stadium with the 2.7 on the road. So he's getting clubbed at home. Away, he's got a 2.7 ERA. And with this big of a sample size, 44 innings at home, that's a pretty healthy sample size. The day-night splits, this is a day game. It's not that big of a difference. It's about, it's 3.68 in the day, 4.11 at night. But honestly, the ball carries much further in Dodger Stadium during the day. So you can kind of look at that a little differently. It is interesting that Bobby Miller, who's a right-hander, fares much better against left-handed batters. Much better. He has, against left-handers, he's giving up just a 611 OPS. Against right-handers, a 740 OPS. And to me, that's very, very interesting. And I'm trying to remember, we did see him the first time around, but it was his first start. And I'm trying to remember why that would be. I remember he throws a very heavy ball down in the zone, good velocity, but maybe his pitches are just drifting into the wheelhouse of the right-handed batter. So we'll see how that plays out. But that to me is very, very telling when it comes to Bobby. And, honestly, I pay more attention to those kinds of splits with the younger guys than I do the veterans, because the veterans usually are what they are what the tail of the tape says. You look at the back of their baseball card for a guy like Charlie Morton, who's nearing the end of his career, and I am starting to think this may be his last hurrah. Some of the interviews I've seen recently and listened to recently, we're going to miss him, but I think this may be his last hurrah. And especially if he can go out as a champion, I think it's definitely his last hurrah. I don't see him going through another year at age 40, unless for some reason he just really wants to play for the Braves again next year. I don't think he would change venues. I don't think it's in his blood kind of thing. Remember when he came to Atlanta several years back? There was talks of him retiring then, because if he didn't stay with Tampa, which Tampa didn't offer him a very good contract, there was talks about him retiring then because he didn't want to be too far from home. He lives in the North Florida area, northern to central Florida. So he did not want to be very far away from home. And it came out at the time when we were hunting him down was that he was either going to be a Ray or he was going to be a Brave, but he wasn't going to go pitch for, the Dodgers or, the Angels. Or he wasn't going to go far away from home. I don't even think he would have went as far away as like Houston. So this could be his last hurrah. And hopefully he continues to pitch as well as he has, because he has been phenomenal his last several starts. If you're wondering what his ERA this year at home and away, it's pretty much the same. 3.23 versus 3.36. I mean, there's not much of a difference. Daytime, he's a little higher, and that would give cause for concern because the ball does fly more in LA during the day. And I do think this is going to be a fairly high-scoring game. I think you're going to get a game today that you're not going to be able to sit there, and I don't think it's going to be the kind of game that we got yesterday. The over-under is 9, and to me that's extremely low because I think these teams are tired. I think the offenses are going to get to clicking, and I think we're going to get an old-fashioned shootout. And I think it's going to be a fun one to put a cap on a hell of a Labor Day weekend in LA where we've already won the series. Let's see if we can get the sweep. All right, I'm not going to talk all day today. We got to get going. I picked a click. We said right-hander does better against Miller. You got to go Ronald Acuna Jr. This is his series. Put your stamp on it, Ronnie. Put your stamp on it. And let's win the series. Let's sweep the series. By the way, I do want to give a tip of the cap of that damn home run by Arcia last night. Holy cow. Holy cow, was that a dramatic ending. So I'm taking Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm going to that well one more time. Let's go ahead and start engraving his name on the MVP trophy. And I'm going to take the Braves to win today, but in a higher scoring affair. Give me 8-5. Give me an old-fashioned shootout out west. 8-5. All right, let's take a quick break. National anthem, Church of Baseball, lineups on the way.
On a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
You can't drink like me. You can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry.
Baerga is 0 for 3. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s has its world championship.
It's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark, and it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary, and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season, and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have, and the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
A room in right center. If he hits one there, we can dance in the streets. The 2-1. Swung line drive, let's see it. 1 run is in. Here comes Brave. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win.
You're in Braves country.
We're down to one strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first. And here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we once were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red bellows bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Play ball! Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. We are live, and the scene is Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, where we're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off for your Atlanta Braves and playing right field, it's Ronald Acuna Jr., 32 home runs, 85 RBI, 63 stolen bases, batting .337. Batting second, playing second, Ozzie Albies comes in with 28 home runs, 90 RBI, 11 stolen bases, batting .270 on the year. Batting third, playing third, Austin Riley, 32 home runs, 83 RBI, 3 stolen bases, batting .277. Matt Olson, batting cleanup, 43 home runs, 112 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .264. Marcell Ozuna, batting fifth at the designated hitter position, 32 home runs, 76 RBI, and a .270 average. Eddie Rosario is in left field with 20 home runs, 65 RBI, 3 stolen bases, batting .258. Travis d'Arnaud, batting seventh, behind home plate with 10 home runs, 34 RBI, batting .246. Orlando Arcia, batting eighth from shortstop, 17 homers, 55 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .282. And patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves, it's Michael Harris II, 13 home runs, 44 RBI, 20 stolen bases, batting .290. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves, it's Charlie Morton. Uncle Charlie comes in with a 14-10 record, 3.29 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, 147 and 2/3 innings pitched, 132 hits allowed, 165 strikeouts, 69 walks, and 13 home runs given up. He'll be going face-to-face with Bobby Miller, who's 8-3, the 4 ERA, a 1.19 WHIP, 87 and 2/3 innings pitched, 79 hits allowed, 79 strikeouts, 25 walks, and 8 home runs given up. Backing him up in the bottom of the first for the LA Dodgers, it's Mookie Betts, playing second base with 38 home runs, 98 RBI, 10 stolen bases, batting .313. Freddie Freeman, batting second, playing first with 25 home runs, 89 RBI, 17 stolen bases, and a .338 average. Will Smith is behind home plate, comes in with a .270 clip with 17 home runs, 66 RBI, 2 stolen bases. Max Muncy is batting cleanup from third base with 32 home runs, 91 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .205. David Peralta is the designated hitter. 7 home runs, 49 RBI, 3 stolen bases, batting .272. Jason Hayward is in right field with 13 home runs, 35 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .259. Chris Taylor is in left field, 13 home runs, 40 RBI, 14 stolen bases, and a .228 average. James Outman is the center fielder with 17 home runs, 59 RBI, 14 stolen bases, batting .253. Miguel Rojas, 3 home runs, 24 RBI, 8 stolen bases, batting .224 from the shortstop position. And there's your lineups for Game 4 of a 4-game set in Los Angeles, California, where game time temperatures are expected in the mid-70s. Behind home plate, calling balls and strikes, it's Shane Livensparger. First base umpire, Dan Bellino. Second base will be manned by Phil Cousy, and down the third base line, it's Mark Rippiger. Braves come in minus 120 on the money line. Over under is 9. Atlanta Braves 90-45 on the year, 46-23 on the road. Dodgers 83-52, 46-24. 7 games back of the Atlanta Braves for the best record in the National League. Braves are going for a 4-game sweep in Los Angeles. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Dodgers. Get your brooms ready, Braves country, and get that game face on. Good afternoon, Braves country. How about it? The Atlanta Braves, you are listening live. We are in Los Angeles, California, as your Atlanta Braves are set to take on the LA Dodgers. Braves wearing their road traditional grays with Atlanta across the chest, tomahawk underneath. Dodgers in their home whites. Dodgers in blue across the chest, wearing their blue caps with the white LA. Braves will have their navy caps with the white A across it. Bobby Miller is taking his final warm-up tosses. Acuna is heading to home plate, and it is baseball time in Braves country. Let's get the roll call.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves country.
We are set. First pitch on the way. Bobby Miller throws 100 miles an hour right there at the knees for a strike, and it's 0-1. Good evening, Braves country. Ronald Acuna Jr. batting .337. 32 home runs. The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-2. The 0-2 to Ronnie. 32 home runs, 1,001 OPS. Pitch in the dirt, and it's 1-2. Righty-righty matchup. The pitch on the way. Swing and pops it up. Can of corn high in the sky. Who wants it? Who gets it? Camping underneath it is the center fielder, Outman. And there's one away. Good evening to everybody. We'll get the roll call going here in 1 second. Got a couple more things I got to get straightened out. Get the screen set up for you. The first pitch on the way to Ozzie Albies is swung on and fouled back. It's 0-1. The 0-1 kicks and deals. Swung on. That ball's going to get dumped into right field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Ozzie Albies taking a wide turn at first, but he'll stay right there. And your Atlanta Braves have their very first hit of the day. 1 on, 1 out. Let's get it. Good afternoon to everybody. Margaret, Goat, Mark, Chris, Gilbert, Tej, Ryan. The first pitch on the way to Austin Riley's right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Good afternoon to Jamie, Heather, Raymond, Rebel, EQ, Russell, think I saw Gilbert and Mark. If I missed anybody, just jump back in. We'll get to it by the end of the first inning. The 0-1 pitch, down and away for a ball. It's 1-1. Good afternoon, Mike. The 1-1 comes set. Riley digs in, swung on, and popped that up out of play. It's 1-2. You'll remember Bobby Miller, if you caught the first outing that he had against us. Really hard throwing right-hander. Has kind of almost a heavy fastball, but he will make it rise to get you to pop up, much like he did to Acuna. Bobby turns around and flips it over to first. Keep Ozzie Albies close by. Not much of a pickoff move there. He might be setting him up for something. That was more of a deliberate one. The 1-2. Ozzie inching a little closer to second. The pitch on the way. Swung on, grounded over to third, and this is going to be a tailor-made 6-4-3. Barely got him by a half-step double play. So that'll end the inning. Braves put on, but cannot get it across. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Baseball on Labor Day weekend.
Challenge accepted.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Almost Good Beer. Remember, Ed's Almost Good Beer was brewed in God's country when God wasn't looking.
Hey, Braves Country. Braves Country HD is bringing you Braves Country Baseball all year long. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. We'll be bringing you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch, inning-by-inning of your Atlanta Braves. Braves Country comes to you every Tuesday night and Friday night, and 2 bonus games every week. Please like and subscribe to youtube.com/@BravesCountry.
I might audible. How audible I'll use.
Red Polly! Blue Poncho! Do it! Rambo! Give me Kershaw here, Kershaw!
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Stop, Japan! Richmond, New York! Richmond, Florida! Sally, Buffalo! Check! Hey, Short Ox! Luda Raiders! Red Lion! Omaha! I'm out!
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam.
We are back. After we went to break, the Braves challenged Austin Riley at first. He ended up being safe, so it will extend the inning. So back to work is Bobby Miller. Pitch on the way, 98-mile-an-hour fastball to Matt Olson, and it's 1-0. We weren't going to come back until we knew for sure that they were going to actually overturn it, because if not, they just would have went to break again. The 1-0 pitch. Righty-lefty matchup, swing, and fouls it back. It's 1-1. I was wondering when he crossed the bag, it looked a little close to me, but I didn't see a replay until after we went to break, and at that point became evident that the Braves were challenging it. The 1-1 pitch. On the way, swing and a miss, 99 up top, blew it right by him, and it's 1-2. Matt Olson in a almost 3-week slump now. Matt Olson, his last home run was way back on Saturday, August 12th. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back 100 miles an hour up top. We'll do it again. There's one guy he should be able to get a hold of, although he is tougher on lefties and righties. If he can get a hold of a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, Matt Olson might break the sound barrier. You know he's grinding. The 1-2 pitch. On the way, in the dirt, 2-2, and Austin Riley is running on the play, and they're going to say he's out. It was a close call. We'll head to break. Not sure what Riley was doing there. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Max, a woman in my section wants to know if we do anything gluten-free. What do I tell her? Tell her she's not allergic to gluten. She's just masking an eating disorder.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
One out, nobody on. 2-2 count to Pete Rose. We've just started a wet day in Baltimore. There's a fly ball down the right field line. Tough chance. It's in for a base hit. Rose is coming for two. It gets away from Robinson. Rose hit the dirt. And had he rounded the bag, he might have gone for three. He thought it would be a play on him at second.
Cincinnati's Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose, and this is the way Rose plays the game. Just 150% each and every time, whether the ball is there or not.
This helpful instructional message from the National Association of People Who Have Trouble Walking and Chewing Gum at the same time. Step, chew. Step, chew. Step, chew. Step, chew.
Walt Whitman. Brooklyn Eagle, 1846. In our sundown perambulations of late, through the outer parts of Brooklyn, we have observed several parties of youngsters playing base, a certain game of ball. Let us go forth a while and get better air in our lungs. Let us leave our close rooms. The game of ball is glorious.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Once again, they're challenging the play on the field. This one's taking a while. See what they say. They say he is out. So, didn't look like that one was going to get overturned. I believe Riley was safe, but the camera angle and the way that tag came down, that was going to be damn near impossible to overturn. That one, I didn't understand the challenge, but hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us, as our challenges are now gone. We'll be back in just a second to go over the scoreboard here on Braves Country.
Well, the season's finally here, and the players hit.
The Armchair Quarterbacks are back. Saturday, September 9th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you'll be tailgating with the Armchair Quarterbacks. Mac Magee, Brian Snow, Joey and Tones, and the rest of the Armchair Quarterbacks live, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Saturdays this fall, talking college football, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, the NFL, fantasy football advice, and our picks against the spread. It all begins September 9th, right here on Braves Country HD, 99.1 FM, WQEE.
Yeah, the Armchair Quarterback, the All-American man.
Welcome back, Braves Country. Go ahead and hit the scoreboard for you. A lot of games going on, obviously, with this being a late call today. This is one of the later games. There is a Sunday night game, those who might be partaking in that. I'll probably keep an eye on it, but honestly, all eyes to me are going to be on the biggest game of the weekend in college football, Florida State versus LSU. That game will start probably about a half hour or so after this one ends. Hitting that scoreboard in Major League Baseball, Miami 6-4 over Washington in the ninth. Boston 5-1 over Kansas City. That was Chris Sale versus Greinke. I was watching a little bit of that earlier. I was like, man, I remember when this would have been a heck of a matchup. Mets lead Seattle 6-3 in the ninth. I think Goat said that Alonso hit his 41st. First pitch on the way from Charlie Morton is a fastball that tails in for a ball. It's 1-0. Mookie Betts hitting .313, 38 homers, 98 RBI, 1021 OPS. The 1-0 pitch, High and out of the zone, it's 2-0. Detroit leads the White Sox 3-2 in the 7th. St. Louis over Pittsburgh. We'll see both of those teams next week in Atlanta. Cardinals 6-3 over the Pirates in the 7th. Charlie now misses 3-0 to Mookie Betts. So not a good start for Charlie Morton. Wild to start his first 3 pitches. All pitches nowhere near the zone. The 3-0 pitch right there, 94 miles an hour. Outer corner up top, 3-1. A little more games of interest here. Minnesota and Texas, they're tied at 3 in the 6th. Colorado leads the Blue Jays fighting for a wild card spot in the 4th, 3-2. 3-1 pitch, swung on, hit over to Riley. Riley's got it, flips it over to first. And it's a 5-3 putout. Good defensive play by Riley. Braves were guarding the line against Betts. And there's one away. Los Angeles and Oakland, they just got underway. Obviously, the Angels, either that or they're playing a split squad, right? Freddie Freeman comes to the plate. He gives a big hug to the hind catcher, Travis d'Arnaud. First pitch on the way to Freddie is down and in. Curveball misses. It's 1-0. Baltimore 2-0 over Arizona. That game's in the 1st. San Francisco and San Diego scoreless in the 1st. The 1-0 pitch. Right there for a strike at the bottom of the knees with the changeup. It's 1-1. Tampa Bay and Cleveland are scoreless in the 2nd. I believe that was a rain delay. Chicago 15-7 over Cincinnati. That's a final. The 1-0, the 1-1 pitch, down and in, curveball misses, 2-1. Philadelphia came back and beat Milwaukee 4-2. And tonight, 7 o'clock, it's the Yankees in Houston, 7:10 first pitch. The 2-1 from Charlie. Swung on. That ball is fisted towards center field, but not very deep, not very high. Here comes Michael Harris a second. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 away. Braves Country Baseball. Coming to you every day. Couldn't do the game yesterday. Did you miss me? Because I missed y'all. I'll tell you that. I've gotten such a habit now of seeing Braves Country and interacting with Braves Country. It's like a home away from home, a family. First pitch on the way from Morton to Smith is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Charlie Morton, 10 pitches in, so if he could get this one, that'd be a pretty good inning. The 1-0 pitch, swung on and grounded hard, foul to Smith. It's 1-1. Atlanta Braves are off tomorrow, and then we're back at it. They come home after this long road trip. Think about how this road trip began, wondering how it would unfold. As the 1-1 pitch off the plate wide, 2-1. Not many road trips that you go out west, so you have a chance to go 9-1. The 2-1 pitch, down and away, ball 3, 3-1. So a 3-1 count to Smith. Baltimore up 2-0 over Arizona. We'll be keeping an eye on that score as we're trying to clinch home field. The pitch on the way, right there for a strike. Smith didn't like it. He was about to toss his bat towards the dugout. It's a wide strike. Might have been a touch outside looking at the replay. Livensbarger, he normally has a wide east or west zone. Full count. Shane Livensbarger behind the plate. The 3-2 pitch swung on, and that ball is lifted foul down the line into the seats just before the right field foul pole, and it's 3-2. Amen to that, Raymond. This road trip out west has done a number on my sleep. A 3-2 pitch. Swung on, grounded up the middle, and just past the diving glove of Ozzie Albies. It'll sprinkle into center field for a 2-out single for the Dodgers here in the bottom of the first. When they went out west, considering these two teams, I thought for sure they were going to slap us with the Sunday night baseball game. And I, for one, am just ready for some normal hours for the Braves to be back at home. Even when they go on the road, this is the last of the West Coast road trips for the rest of the year. Even if you hit the playoffs, it'll be normal broadcast times. First pitch on the way to Muncie is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Max Muncie, 32 home runs, 91 RBI. The 0-1 pitch. Curveball misses inside, 1-1. So you can start looking at it now on how the playoffs would unfold. They start today. The 1-1 from Charlie. Right there. Nasty whiffle inside. 1-2. This curveball's got some bite today. One-two from Morton. Comes set and lets it go. Way off the plate wide, 2-2. So in this at bat to Muncie, he has thrown 4 consecutive curveballs. The first 3 were down and in, and I think that's what he was trying to do with the last one. He just didn't get the right grip. The 2-2. Swung on and grounded over to first. An atom ball to Olsen. Olsen will step on the pillow, and that will end the inning. So the Dodgers put one on but failed to score. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. Olsen, Ozuna on the way.
Make sure when your shift is over, you go home alive.
Look at that! The Hendersons are getting a new fence.
Ah, who cares? They're swingers.
I want a new fence.
Need a home loan fast? At the American Bank of Los Santos, we'll help you get the debt you need to make life easier. We'll show you how to look richer and be poorer. You need to impress people fast. Not in 20 years. It's only a risk if you get into money troubles or the economy changes. Call American Bank of Los Santos. Now that the kids have moved out and have drug problems of their own, maybe it's time to install a luxury marble wet bar. American Bank of Los Santos. Why worry about tomorrow if you look inadequate today?
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Lose some weight.
Oh, come on, Quigley. Will you don't give me that.
Look at me. 92. And I still enjoy swimming and golfing and biking, all sports.
Whoopee.
That too.
Come on, after all at your age, must be down to a handshake, huh?
Yep, before and after.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today, youtube.com/@Braves Country. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Matt Olson back to bat as Riley was thrown out to end the inning, so it'll start all over again. First pitch on the way, the fastball outside for the ball. It's 1-0. Braves nothing, Dodgers nothing. The 1-0 pitch swung on, a round swing. Pops it back up, back behind home plate, just a few rows back into the crowd as Smith gives chase. 1-1. Looks like the Mets held on to beat Seattle. Not important for the Braves per se, but Seattle is trying to chase down a playoff spot, even the AL West crown. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. Up top, it's 1-2. So we went 4-seam 98 and then threw 2 changeups. The 1-2 pitch swung on and grounded softly over to second. 4-3 put out, 1 away. 0-0 your score. Top of the second inning. Marcell Ozuna will dig into the plate. Ozuna stands in, and the first pitch on the way is a bender, soft bender up top. It's 0-1. The 0-1 down below the knees, 1-1. The 1-1 to Marcell. Lets it fly. Swing and fouls it back 98 miles an hour. It's 1-2. Ozuna standing in with 32 home runs. The 0-2 pitch swung on. That ball's lifted deep into left field, going back on the track. Is that gone? I believe that one's gone. Is it not? I guess it went off the wall. The left fielder just stopped like the ball had left the building. It went up against the wall. Ozuna will be in there for a double, 1-out double. Looking at that replay, it was really strange. So the ball hit the very top of the wall, and there was a fan going for it. I thought maybe the fan had grabbed it, but he did not. Taylor just stood there, not giving chase. The center fielder Outman was backing him up. Awkward looking defensive play. So 1 on, 1 out. Marcell Ozuna stands in scoring position. The 1-0 to Eddie Rosario. Pitch on the way. Swung on. That ball's lifted into center field. Making the catch is Outman, and there's 2 away. Just got a little too bit under that one. So quickly 2 down here as Marcell Ozuna stands on second base. Braves trying not to leave him by his lonesome out there, leaving him stranded. That'll bring Travis d'Arnaud to the plate. d'Arnaud now with 10 home runs, 34 RBI, 246 average. Pitch on the way, swung on, and that ball's lifted towards left field, but got underneath it, and that's going to be an easy F7 to end the inning. So the Braves put 1 more on again, but can't score. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Baseball.
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling wax paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Slide here is your X. But if that's the call, Mike, Will, and Sam all have to know they're shifting. Open palms to post, thumbs ups to crosser, thumbs downs and out. Trevor, why don't you get up here and draw that for us?
Playing in the NFL is hard, but playing
Armchair.
fantasy football is easy.
Fantasy football time. It's fantasy football time.
You go 14 times and only win 1 time. It leaves a little sting. But I've said this. I know it's going to sound weird, but I've said this. If I had to go back to the future and know what the results were going to be and trade with the Marlins, who won twice and only went twice, I wouldn't do it. At the 14 times, still thinking that maybe fate might change. Going 14 years in a row is pretty incredible.
Armchair.
It is played everywhere. In parks and playgrounds and prison yards, in back alleys and farmers' fields, by small boys and old men, raw amateurs and millionaire professionals. It is a leisurely game that demands blinding speed. The only game in which the defense has the ball. It follows the seasons, beginning each year with the fond expectancy of springtime and ending with the hard facts of autumn. Americans have played baseball for more than 200 years. While they conquered a continent, warred with one another and with enemies abroad, struggled over labor and civil rights and the meaning of freedom.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. YouTube.com/@Braves Country.
Braves win! Braves win! Braves win!
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves, Los Angeles Dodgers, 0-0 your score. The Atlanta Braves trying to get ever so closer to locking up a lot of things a lot earlier time than I think a lot of folks expected. First pitch on the way. Charlie Morton's 87 miles an hour right down the pipe for a strike. Hits 0-1. Atlanta Braves now lead the Phillies 15 and a half games. If they win today, they would go back to 15 as the Phillies are already in the books for a W. The 1-1 pitch. 0-1 pitch misses. It's 1-1. David Peralta stands at the plate with 7 home runs, a 705 OPS. Righty-lefty matchup. The 1-1 from Charlie. Swing and a miss at the curveball. It's 1-2. The 1-2. Rocks and fires. Swung on and bangs that foul. We'll do it again at 1-2. Just got a piece of that one. Atlanta Braves' magic number to win the division stands at just 12. The 1-2 from Charlie. Lets it go. Down and in. Did he go around? They check down the third base line. He did. Strike 3. Got him. And there's one away. Kind of a little baby curve that went down below the knees towards the shoelaces. And it was more one of those reflex things from Peralta. I don't even think he meant to swing. It was more one of those things, more of a reaction than anything else. Almost a defensive swing. That'll bring Jason Hayward to the plate. Jason Hayward takes the first pitch outside, 89-mile-an-hour changeup. It's 0-1. The 0-1, 1-0 up top for a strike. It's 1-1. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, top of the zone. The 1-1 pitch, down and in. Good take by Hayward, 2-1. The Braves' magic number to have the best record in the National League is 21. The 2-1 pitch. Swing, and that ball's belted high, but not very deep. Into right field coming in. Acuna playing way too deep to make a play on that, and it's a one-out single for Jason Hayward. Atlanta Braves continue to play extremely deep in the outfield, and that one caught up to him again. 1 on, 1 out. Acuna playing maybe 10 feet in front of the warning track. No real chance to make that play. Michael Harris II plays a little more shallow, but the corner infields have been playing pretty deep almost all season long. First pitch on the way to Taylor is high and out of the zone for a ball. It's 1-0. Chris Taylor out in left field today. Comes in with 13 home runs, a 742 OPS. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch on the way. Off the plate wide, 2-0. And as far as the best record in baseball, the Atlanta Braves magic number for that is 22, with Baltimore sitting with one less loss than LA. So a 3-0 count as another pitch misses. He's gone fastball, cutter. The 3-0 pitch right there at the knees for a strike. Fastball in the heart of Main Street. It's 3-1. You got a 3-1 Runner on first. 1 out. The pitch on the way. Right there at 95 at the knees again. Falling behind 3-0, and then 2 fastballs dotting right across the plate. We'll see what Morton does now. Does he dare go back to back to back, or does he try to get him to chase the Uncle Charlie off the dish? The 3-2 turns around and flips it over to first, and they got him. They got Jason Hayward. He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Hayward thinks he's safe. They're going to take a look at it, see if Roberts wants to challenge it. Of course, always the question is, it's not whether or not you think he's safe or not. It's whether or not you think that you can get it overturned. And if they've got a better look at it, let's see. Man, that is close. I don't know. I'd like to see a picture that's a little more zoomed in. The one they're showing from the backside, you're not going to see anything there. That's a terrible angle. But the original one, if it can be a little more zoomed in, might have a chance to figure this one out. First reaction looked like he got him. Looking at the replay, I think they got him. Unless, what I'm trying to see is the showing on the Los Angeles. Hayward's convinced that he's safe, but that doesn't really mean anything. What Hayward is motioning over to Roberts is that his fingertips hit the base and Olsen got him on the arm. But what's going to be interesting to see is, do they get a camera angle that shows that, or does it go much like the one with Riley where the overturn did not happen because they didn't have a good enough angle? The call on the field has to be obvious to be overturned. You can't just go with a gut feeling. So we wait for the call to come from back upstairs. Morton's continuing to warm up to stay loose. See what they're going to do here. They got him. They got him. Hand in the cookie jar. Just like it looked like from the jump. So the Dodgers are out of reviews. The Braves are out of reviews. Jason Hayward is shaking his finger. He can shake his finger all he wants. But he can go shake it in the dugout. So Hayward will head back to the dugout. Of course, Jason Hayward started his career in Atlanta. Still one of my favorite debuts in the history of Atlanta Braves baseball. So a 3-2 count, pitch high and in, nowhere near the zone. Good thing he got Hayward on that 3-2 because that's ball 4. And now Taylor will head down to first. That pitch was nowhere near the zone. That delay may have cost Charlie. That pitch was, whoa, whoop. Talk about a close shave. Taylor, for those of y'all listening on radio, had to bend backwards to the point where his helmet came flying off. So 2 down, 1 out. James Outman comes to the plate. First pitch to him is off the plate wide, 1-0. Last 2 fastballs missed in the same general area. Runner on first, 2 out, the 1-0 pitch. Right there for a strike. Good curveball by Charlie. It's 1-1. Braves trying to go for that 4-game sweep. Unthought of, unheard of, going into L.A. The 1-1. And he turned around, flipped that one over to first. Almost got Chris Taylor leaning. He was just back in the nick of time. Charlie Morton's really putting a move over there to first. Could be a deadly weapon come postseason. The 1-1. Curveball, runner on the move. Here comes the throw, and it way out into center field. Arcia tried to make the catch. Ball bounced off his glove. He wasn't going to get the runner no matter what. So he'll be safe at second with a stolen base. Really wasn't that great of a jump, to be honest with you, but picked the right pitch to go on, ran on that curve. Darnold had no chance. Tried to throw from his knees again. We've seen him do that a few times. You're just not going to be very accurate. The 1-2 pitch, down and in. Did he go around? He did not. 2-2. Only guy I ever saw that could throw from his knees like that, like on a bean, was Benito Santiago. And then he got busted for steroids, and we're like, all right, well, fair enough. That explains a lot. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Curveball. Did he go around? Looked like he might have offered. He did not. They checked down the third base line. So a 3-2 count, runner on second, 2 outs, and a scoreless tie. The pitch on the way. Curveball down and away. Ball 4. So Charlie Morton's worked himself into a jam. Very economical first inning. This inning, losing batters left and right. Now 2 walks on the day. If it hadn't been for that pickoff, it could be even more of a dicier situation. Miguel Rojas comes to the plate, the number 9 hitter. Takes a first pitch for a strike up top. It's 0-1. Rojas batting .224, 3 home runs, 24 RBI, a .580 OPS. Righty-righty matchup, runner on first and second, 2 out. The 0-1 misses way out of the zone. It's 1-1. Yeah, Johnny Bench didn't do a lot of throws from his knees. He normally did it from one knee, 1 foot planted on the ground, which is the smarter way to do it. The 1-1 pitch misses, 2-1. Benito Santiago would literally gun you down from his kneecaps. The 2-1. Morton falling behind again. Pitch on the way. Swung on and pops it up. Foul out of play. It's 2-2. So he's 1 strike away now from getting out of this jam. Charlie Morton at 46 pitches. This inning has thrown over 30 pitches. Deuces are wild here in Los Angeles. 2 on, 2 out, a 2-2 count. The pitch on the way. Swung on, grounded up the middle. Ozzy's got it, flips it to Arcia. Barely gets him, and I mean barely, and that'll end the inning. The flip was to Arcia. He taps the bag just before the slide. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
You don't like Drake? How could you not like Drake?
Who's Drake?
Who's Drake? Drake is good.
I told you the Drake was bad. I hate the Drake.
You just robbed a house. You have all this great stuff that now belongs to you, but you got this annoying pang of guilt nagging at you. Well, worry no more, because your friends at Cell Block Greeting Cards have the answer for you. Introducing our new line of petty crime thank you cards. Before you smash and grab one of our cards and leave it behind on your next heist. Choose from any of these fine heartfelt cards like
thank you for the plasma TV,
or
thanks for the PlayStation, alcohol, and penny jar,
and
don't use your toothbrush.
For a limited time, introducing
I'm Still in the House.
And many more sentimental petty crime thank you cards. Available at any back alley, shadowy parking lot, or
Armchair.
Now I want to ask you about, wouldn't you rather have this name spelled G-O-O-S-H, the phonetic spelling, rather than all the S's, W's, and Z's?
Gives him some character, though.
G-W-O-S-D-Z is the spelling, but it's pronounced Goosh.
Well, his nickname is iChart, and you can understand that. It's about 72 points on the Scrabble board.
Well, then he ought to make a great umpire when he retires as a player. It's a bit low. Goosh, he's been around. I remember that name with other teams. He's been with Walla Walla, Reno, Amarillo, Hawaii, and San Diego. That even's a count, a ball, and a strike.
Did you go to many games in Walla Walla?
I like the name of it. It's one of my favorite towns. Do you know what Walla Walla spelled backwards sounds like? Allah, Allah. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I learn something every day working with you.
How'd we get started on this silly stuff?
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry.
Braves win! Braves win! Braves win!
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves, Los Angeles Dodgers, scoreless. Top of the third inning. The first pitch to Arcia missed for a ball, and the 1-0 pitch is grounded over to third for a 5-3 putout. It's 1-1. It's one away. Braves come into today. So again, if they could win today, they could drop the magic number for the National League East to just 11 coming out of Labor Day, which is remarkable. First pitch on the way to Michael Harris is right there for a strike down the pipe. It's 0-1. And they could drop home field for the National League to 19, because the Dodgers will have lost as well. The 0-1 pitch inside, 1-1. They would drop Baltimore's down to 21 if they were to lose, but they are leading right now to 20 even. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 1-2. Happy Labor Day weekend to everybody. Hope you're enjoying some sunshine, some cold ones, some cold water. Or cool water, not cold. The 1-2 pitch is down and away 2-2. We went in a dip in the pool this morning before I started getting ready for the broadcast, and man, it was ice cold. I was like, whoa. Well, pool season's over. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Michael Harris kind of flailed at that one. I don't know if he was having a hard time picking up the ball coming out of his hands. But any way you look at it, there's quickly 2 away. So that'll bring Ronald Acuna Jr. I still am amazed by that home run he hit last night. First pitch on the way to Ronnie is a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. 121.5, so 122 off the bat. The hardest hit ball in Major League Baseball that has left the park, 2023. The 0-1 pitch, down and in, it's 1-1. 1-1 to Acuna, swung on, tap, foul down the third base line, it's 1-2. Ronald Acuna Jr. Right now, I've been checking every morning now. Right now, he is the leader for the NL MVP race out in Vegas. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, blew it right by him, 100 miles an hour. Bobby Miller is absolutely dealing. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Baseball.
Better get that checked out.
I would.
What kind of a therapist are you? I'm telling you, I'm scared that something terrible is going to happen to me right away. You start looking for tumors?
I'm trying to help you.
I bet you're rooting for a tumor.
I think you better go.
Oh, I'm going, baby. I'm going.
Braves Country HD, your home for the SEC.
Back third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Gonna throw and a run. Complete to the 25. To the 30. Lindsey's got 35, 41. Lindsey, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop.
Second down from the 3. Comes the blitz. Quick flip. Caught. Did he hold it long enough?
The official says yes. Oh boy, is that going to be controversial. Gaffney, the freshman. My goodness.
If he had it, he didn't have it very long, that's for sure.
And this one's in the history books. And inexplicably, the Florida Gators go 91 yards to come from behind and edge the Tennessee Volunteers in an ending that will be talked about for years.
Armchair.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves. 0-0 the score. Bottom of the third. The first pitch on the way to Mookie Betts is down and out for a ball. It's 1-0. Mookie 0 for 1. Grounded out in the first inning. The 1-0. Right there for a strike on the outer edge. 1-1. Braves will be off tomorrow. Then we head home to take on the Cardinals. 7:20 first pitch. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Chase the curveball well off the edge. Kind of halfway through that swing, Mookie was like, oh, man. He tried to hold up, but it was too late. That's one of the ones I'm sure he'll get actually a laugh at in the dugout. The 1-2 pitch. Swing! Pops it up. 96 miles an hour right down Main Street. Just a touch behind, and it's 1-2. We'll head home to play the Cardinals Tuesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. We'll have a pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play right here on Braves Country. And then Friday, we welcome in the Pirates. The 1-2 pitch swung on. That ball is laced into left field, and Rosario stops and lets it hop in front of him. There's one on, nobody out. That's one of those plays that, you know, if Pillar's out there in left field, that ball gets caught. But Rosario, not quite the outfielder that he is, played it smart, let the ball hit it in front of him. But now there's one on, nobody out. So one on, nobody out, and Freddie Freeman coming to the plate. Morton turns around and flips it over to first, trying to keep Mookie close by. Pretty good pickoff play, but Mookie well back in time. 0-0 your score. Freddie Freeman, who's 3 for 11 in the series, batting .337 on the year. It's remarkable that the top 4 vote getters for the NL MVP may very well be in this series. First pitch on the way to Freeman, down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Right now, I'd say you'd probably have Acuna, Mookie, and then Freddie. Olsen would be sitting at 4th, but he's got to start producing, because if he continues this slump, that will not be the case. The 1-0 pitch drifts inside for a strike. It's 1-1. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch on the way. Curveball down and in for a strike. Freddie doesn't like it, but he said he went around. He thought he held up. No, actually, that was a strike looking. I thought that was I thought, okay. Then, okay. Fair enough. I think Freddie's got a complaint. Pitch was probably an inch or two below the zone. The 1-2 pitch. Down and in. Nowhere near the zone. 2-2. Yeah, that one hit me like a ton of bricks. I saw that Jimmy Buffett passed away. Was not aware of that until after our draft show yesterday morning. Got off the air and I gotten some texts from some friends, but I didn't know what they were texting about. The 2-2 pitch. Top of the zone, caught looking, strike 3. And Freddie Freeman doesn't like it. He's going to give him an earful. And basically what he's saying, and I could see the argument. Granted, we'll take the strikeout. But what he's saying is you can't give him the bottom of the zone down below my kneecaps and then also give him the top of the zone outside and call them both strikes. I believe the last pitch was a strike. But that's not the one that Freddie's really upset about. He's basically saying the difference between the two pitches. And that usually is what happens when you get these batters that they get tossed or they get mad and they complain. It usually comes down to they're not mad about the pitch they struck out on. They're mad about a pitch or two before. We'll take that strikeout. There's one away. Yeah, the Jimmy Buffett. I've been meaning to bring it up. That hit me like I'm sure a lot of people who grew up in Florida like a ton of bricks, and just all over the country. Much like Braves country, Parrothead Nation is worldwide. First pitch on the way to Will Smith is top of the zone strike. It's 0-1. I was going to put a poll up, but there's too many options. They only give you so many options. So instead, we're just going to put the question out there here in a second. We'll put it on the screen, but until I get to it. As the wild pitch, man, that thing was a high hopper, rolls all the way to the backstop. Mookie Betts easily makes it to second base with his speed. The ball went into the ground and then ricocheted off of the glove. Man, that thing almost hit like a trampoline. Unbelievable. But the 1-1 pitch swung on. That ball's laced into left field, and making the catch is Rosario, cutting it off, and here comes the throw inside, and they'll easily get Mookie Betts for doubling them up. Mookie thought the ball dropped, and that'll end the inning. So we'll be back in a flash. We'll put the Jimmy Buffett question up on the screen here on Braves Country HD.
There are 5 Little Debbie snacks they no longer make that they need to bring back. Debbie, I hope you're watching this. Number 5 is orange cream cakes. This was like summertime in a box. Taking a bite of one of these was just like eating an orange creamsicle, except it didn't melt all over you and make you look like Garfield. Number 4 is the Little Debbie crackers. I don't think Debbie had anything to do with this one. I think Oreo knew that when she did this, and she did it really well, she was coming for them next. I'm on to you, Nabisco. Number 3 is the Boston cream rolls. These were delicious, but they suffered some branding issues. See, this is the South. Little Debbie's a Southern thing, and nobody wants Boston anything. So just change the name, Debbie. Bring them back and make them the Biloxi cream rolls. Oh, no, that's a bad idea. Number 2 are the PBJ oatmeal pies. I don't have to explain this to you. Look at this. I don't know why this went away, but it needs to come back because I feel like we are so close to Little Debbie making a fried bologna cookie. Just trust me, it will be delicious. Number 1 hurts because the wound is still fresh. Banana Twins, I don't know where they went. I don't even want to ask because nothing makes sense anymore. I just know that one day I know they'll be reunited because all of the world's greatest foods are at the banquet table in heaven. And I know right by Jesus is probably a box of Banana Twins.
Armchair.
In 1907, Albert Goodwill Spaulding insisted that Abner Doubleday had invented baseball at Cooperstown, New York in 1839. It wasn't true. But on June 12, 1939, the game's dubious centennial, the National Baseball Hall of Fame officially opened its doors in Cooperstown. 12 great figures from the game's past, selected by the Baseball Writers of America, were to be inducted, including Christy Mathewson, who had died in 1925, and Ty Cobb, who refused to appear in the official photograph, just to spite his ancient enemy, Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Babe Ruth waited to make a grand entrance, sweeping in to huge applause just as the band began to play Take Me Out to the Ball Game. He had forgotten his time.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The first pitch on the way from Bobby Miller, who has pitched a gem so far, to Ozzie Albies. It's top of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup, the 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss in the dirt, 1-1. Braves nothing, Dodgers nothing. Top of the fourth inning, Braves looking for a sweep. The 0-2 pitch, swung on, banged over to first. A two-hopper to Freddie. Freddie flips it to Bobby. Bobby touches the bag, and there's one away. So one down, and the question of the day is, like I said, they only give you an option for 4 answers, so we're just going to put it on the screen. What is your favorite? What is your go-to Jimmy Buffett song? If there was one song, as the first pitch misses outside to Austin Riley for a ball, it's 1-0. If there was one song that someone who is not a Jimmy Buffett fan, didn't know his music as well, you said, what's one song I need to hear from him today to commemorate, to honor his life? What is a song you would go for? And it doesn't have to be in some kind of sad, deepful song. I see Cheeseburger in Paradise, and that's always a crowd favorite. The 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss, it's 2-1. I'll give you mine later on, but I want to get y'all's first because I'm really interested to see the answers. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 97 right down the pipe. It's 2-2. The 2-2 pitch on the way, 99 outside wide, ball 3-2. So a full count to Riley, 1 down. Matt Olson stands on deck. High sun in the sky. Doesn't appear to be a cloud in the sky at all. The 3-2 pitch swung on, pops it up. Fighting the sun is Jason Hayward in right field. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 away. So what do we have here so far? Cheeseburger in Paradise, Havana Daydreaming, that's a good one. Pirate Looks at 40, that's a great one. Pencil Thin Mustache. The first pitch on the way to Matt Olson, grabs the top of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch, down and away. 1-1. The 1-1 from Miller, righty-lefty matchup, 99 out wide, ball 2, 2-1. We keep saying this over and over, but my word is Matt Olson due. Sitting on 43 home runs for 3 weeks now. The 2-1 pitch, swing and fouls it back 100 miles an hour up top. 2-2. I've mentioned this several times, and I just feel like that they need to address this. You look at Matt Olson's swing now and the way it was a few weeks ago. That bat has gotten further and further away from his body. And the reason why I bring that up is because they've talked about it so much. It's a little more closer to him in this at bat. The 2-2 pitch, swung on, bang, foul down the line. It's 2-2. Changes in latitudes. That's a great one. I'm not familiar with that one, Edward. This is much like yesterday's game. That sounds like a great song. The 2-2 pitch, caught looking, strike 3. My word, that was a beautiful slider by Miller, and that'll end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down. Edward, you're right on it. This is a lot like yesterday. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
What are you looking at, you dirty old skank? What are you looking at, Popeye? What are you looking at, you piece of road trash? What are you looking at? Jeez, I can smell you from over here. What are you looking at me for? I'm not a bottle of Jim Beam. What are you looking at, you dirty old skank?
Armchair.
Braves Country Today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country Today, Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country Today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
It measures just 9 inches in circumference, weighs only about 5 ounces, and is made of cork wound with woolen yarn, covered with 2 layers of cowhide, and stitched by hand precisely 216 times. It travels 60 feet 6 inches from the pitcher's mound to home, and it can cover that distance at nearly 100 miles an hour. Along the way, it can be made to twist, spin, curve, wobble, rise, or fall away. The bat is made of turned ash, less than 42 inches long, not more than 2 3/4 inches in diameter. The batter has only a few thousandths of a second to decide to hit the ball. And yet the men who fail 7 times out of 10 are considered the game's greatest hero.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves, Dodgers here in LA, bottom of the 4th, and it's scoreless. Max Muncy's coming to the plate. Righty-lefty matchup. Bit of a delay. First pitch on the way. 94 miles an hour right down the pipe for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Kicks and deals. Inside, almost gets him. Somehow dances out of the way. Evens up the count at 1-1. The 1-1. Charlie Morton comes set, lets it go. Down and in. Curveball just misses. 2-1. The 2-1. Swung on and missed. Curveball over the top. Evens up the count at 2-2. The 2-2 from Charlie Morton. Swung on, banged into right field. 2-hopper for a base hit. It's a leadoff single for the Dodgers. So the Dodgers once again put traffic on the base paths. It's their 4th hit of the day. Between that and the 2 walks, Morton's been fighting traffic all day long. The pitch on the way, swung on. Tap foul on his instep. 0-1. Peralta, he's 0 for 1. David Peralta, of course, he came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was a Braves killer for a long time in his career. I've always felt like that was a reasoning behind why the 0-1 pitch misses outside 1-1, why the Dodgers brought him over because of his numbers against Atlanta. The 1-1 pitch swung on and pops it up high in the sky. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch from Charlie. Pitch on the way, swung on, pops it up, gets underneath it. High in the sky, but not very deep. Michael Harris, the second's underneath it, fighting the sun. He'll make the catch, and there's one away. I wish I had a Spencer Strider mustache. Once again, your favorite Jimmy Buffett songs. We'll let that breathe here for a second. Yeah, I don't know what that question is about, but Woodrow, it's a perfect comeback. Dave's not here, man. Jason Hayward comes to the plate and fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1. He singled in the second inning and it was picked off at first. The 0-1 to Hayward, way outside wide, 1-1. Come Monday's a good one. The 1-1 pitch swung on, and that ball is hit high, but not very deep into the glove of Ronald Acuna Jr. into right field, and there's 2 away. So 2 down, and Charlie Morton will try to get out of this inning now. Facing Chris Taylor, the number 7 hitter. It's not what I would call my go-to, but one of the ones that I think has always gotten overlooked. I just thought it was a great song, especially when I was younger. I first discovering Jimmy Buffett was the great filling station Hold Up. I always thought that was a great tune by Jimmy. The 0-1 pitch from Charlie, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Yeah, I was about to mention Livingston Saturday Night. I always liked that song, and I think it gets overlooked because it was kind of before he became known as like the true storyteller. It was more of an upbeat, not quite rocky, but rockish song. The 0-2 pitch comes in high, swing and a miss, check swing. That'll end the inning. We have got ourselves a pitcher's duel. Head to the 5th. Ozuna, Rosario, and d'Arnaud. Let's break this puppy open.
Yo. Hey, I got some news, bro. Katie is no longer my girlfriend.
Oh, thank God. I hated that.
What the Jeff? I was gonna say she's not my girlfriend, man. She's my fiance.
Hi, Katie. Congrats, guys.
Armchair.
Satchel Paige always thought he was the greatest pitcher in the world, and Josh Gibson thought he was the greatest hitter in the world, and we did too. And Satchel and Josh in this World Series ball game, Satchel pitching, and we got a ball game 1. The Kansas City Monarchs with 2 out in the 9th inning. First place hitter, he tripped on Satchel. We got 2 out, so that didn't bother us in at all. So Satchel called me, he said, come in. I said, what do you want, Satchel? He said, let me tell you what I'm thinking to do. He said, I'm going to walk Howard Easterlin. I'm going to walk Buck Leonard. I'm going to pitch to Josh Gibson. I say, man, don't be facetious. He said, that's what I'm going to do. I said, time. I called the manager, who was Frank Duncan. I said, Frank, you got to listen to what Satchel said. And so Satchel told him what was going to happen. Now, when he was walking Buck, Josh was in the circle. He talking to Josh all the time. Said, Josh, do you remember the day? Told you that one day we were going to meet and we were going to see who was the best. He said, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Satchel said, all right. Said, now it's the time to prove this thing. So when Josh comes up to the bat, listen, let me tell you what this man did. He said, now I'm ready. So I'm going to throw you some fastball. I'm going to throw you a fastball, belt high, boom, strike 1. Josh didn't move the bat. He said, now I'm going to show you another fastball, boom, strike 2. He said, now, Josh, I've got you 2 strikes and no balls. You know, in this situation, I'm supposed to knock you down, brush your back. He said, but I'm not going to throw any smoke at your yoke. I'm going to throw a pea at your knee. Boom, strike 3. And when he struck him out and he walked off the field and walked by me and said, nobody hit Satchel.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna. Swung on, lifted high and deep into right field, but it'll stay in the park. Making the catch just before the warning track is Jason Hayward, and there's one away. Not only is Bobby Miller pitching a shutout, he's only at 53 pitches with one out here in the fifth. Eddie Rosario will come to the plate. Rosario, he's 0 for 1, much like a lot of folks, 0-fers. Braves only have 2 hits in the game. The 0 for 1, excuse me. First pitch on the way. Fastball misses 99 off the dish. It's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew it right by him on the outer edge. It's 1-1. The 1-1 from Miller. Pitch on the way. Right there at the knees on the outer edge. 1-2. Bobby Miller pitched to Jim against these Braves in his major league debut in Atlanta back in May. He's throwing another one tonight, this afternoon. The 1-2 pitch. Soft swing, soft pop-up, high in the sky. Outman's fighting it. High sun here in Los Angeles. And there's 2 away. I've been following him all year because we do a lot of things outside of Braves country where we're following a lot of baseball players. And I think he's going to be a special one for the Dodgers organization. First pitch on the way to Darno is right there for a strike on the outer edge. It's 0-1. 0-0 your score. Last night in the Braves-Dodgers game, the Braves did not get a hit. Did not get a base runner. 18 consecutive outs. The 1-1 on the way. Swung on. Pops it up, foul out of play. 1-2. When a guy's going like this, the main thing you want to do is get him out of the game, but he's only at 59 pitches. You'd like to, maybe Travis d'Arnaud could have one of his famous 10 pitch at bats, run his pitch count up a little bit. The 1-2. Miller lets it go. Swung on and pops it up. That'll stay in play. Making the catch is Outman, and that'll end the inning. Another 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back in a flash. The Braves, Dodgers, 0-0. Bottom of the order coming up for LA.
You know what I think the problem is? I need to show them that I deserve to be Customer of the Week.
You don't.
Well, they probably see a woman like me and think, yeah, she's got it all.
They don't.
I know, it's a silly little award, but I don't ask for much.
You do.
And this is the one place that makes me feel happy.
You aren't.
Now, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I feel like I really vibe with everyone there.
You don't.
If I stopped showing up, they'd probably wonder where I went.
They wouldn't.
Well, thanks for listening.
I had no choice.
Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today. Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
And the players hit
The Armchair quarterbacks are back. Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you'll be tailgating with the Armchair quarterbacks. Mac Magee, Brian Snow, Joey and Tones, and the rest of the Armchair quarterbacks live, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturdays this fall. Talking college football, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, the NFL, fantasy football advice, and our picks against the spread. Right here on Braves Country HD, 99.1 FM, WQEE.
the All-American man.
Don't be scared to like and subscribe. It's free, and it ain't gonna bite. Future schedules are being based on likes and subscribes.
The road may come to an end here, Garrick wrote his wife. Seems like our backs are to the wall. but there usually comes a way out. Where and what, I know not.
For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad brag. That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves. 0-0 your score. We're heading to the bottom of the fifth. Due up 8, 9, and 1 hitters. So Outman, Rojas, and then Mookie Betts. Charlie Morton at 75 pitches heading into the fifth, so a high number. This could be his last inning. The first pitch on the way. Curveball right there for a strike at the up top. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. On the way. Curveball right there at the knees. 0-2. Righty-lefty matchup. Uncle Charlie kicks and deals. Fastball misses way outside wide. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Way outside wide. 2-2. So after getting up 0-2, the next two pitches, fastballs were way out of the zone, almost pitch out territory. The 2-2 pitch swung on and hit hard down the right field line, but foul. We'll do it again. Two. Pitch on the way. Inside, ball 3, 3-2. So a 3-2 count. Charlie Morton, who was up 0-2, is now run it full on a high pitch count. The 3-2 from Morton. Way outside, high and inside, ball 4. The Charlie Morton might be starting to run out of gas. 82 pitches through 4 innings. The Braves should have the majority of their bullpen available, especially when you factor in the fact that tomorrow they have off. Tomorrow will be a chance to reset that bullpen. First pitch on the way to Miguel Rojas. Fastball top of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Swing and fouls it away. It's 0-2. Pitch was top of the zone. Looked like it was the changeup. Kind of drifted in and sawed off the bat. The 0-2. Righty-righty matchup. Charlie Morton turns and spins, flips it over to first. Outman back in time. Charlie Morton's really been snapping off pretty good pickoff pitches today. Sometimes you'll see him lull him to sleep, but he's really been using the A game. The 0-2 pitch swung on. That ball is belted high and deep into center field, going off the wall. Coming around to score is Outman. The throw went to the plate, but nowhere near. Terrible throw. And Rojas will get down to third. An RBI triple. One nothing your score. That was a hanger by Morton, and he drilled it. I thought it might be leaving the stadium. Goes off the wall. Kind of ironic. It hit the Morton salt sign. Terrible throw by Arcia. He just blindly turned and fired it towards home plate. It was nowhere near it. Went to the backstop. First pitch on the way to Mookie Betts is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. So you really hate that because you would have liked him just keep it in his pocket, let him score, because now the Dodgers can make it 2-0 with any kind of a productive out. The 1-0 to Betts, down and away, 2-0. Morton really starting to unravel here. No outs, and he is about to throw his 88th pitch here in the fifth. The 2-0 pitch. Swung on, bang, foul down the line. It's 2-1. Two-one count. Righty-righty matchup. Way outside wide. Ball 3, 3-1. So Morton now down 3-1 in danger of walking Betts with speed, with Freddie Freeman standing on deck. The 3-1 pitch swung on, banged over the head of RC as the infield was pulled in. Bad decision by Snicker and company, as that ball would have been an easy out for Arcia. Instead, it's an RBI single, and the Dodgers lead it 2-0. Really paint yourself in a hole when you draw the infield in. I mean, that infield was way in. I could almost see being halfway in. That infield was all the way in with Mookie Betts at the plate. Bad decision by, I'm sure he's getting it from the analytics team, but bad decision by the Braves to draw in the infield. Snicker's finally going to get up, and it looks like we're going to see Dylan Lee for the first time in a long time. He's set to take on Freddie Freeman. Braves trail by just 2, and we got a long way to go.
Pro marriage tip. When your wife makes you something to eat and it's not that good, just explain to her in detail how your mother would make it, and then she'll strive to be more like your mom, and that way you can train her well. It was kind of dry.
Armchair.
Well, the season's finally here, and the players hit.
The Armchair Quarterbacks are back. Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you'll be tailgating with the Armchair Quarterbacks. Mac Magee, Brian Snow, Joey and Tones, and the rest of the Armchair Quarterbacks. Live, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Saturdays this fall. Talking college football, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, the NFL, fantasy football advice, and our picks against the spread. Right here on Braves Country HD, 99.1 FM, WQEE.
Yeah, the Armchair Quarterback, the All-American.
One is baseball, and the other is opera. Fortunately enough, they fall in different seasons. Opera is in the winter, and baseball is in the summer. And people asking me, how can you like both? They are different. And I say, oh, no, they are exactly the same thing. Opera is an epiphanic art. Now, you go to a baseball game and observe what happens in a baseball game many times. The pitcher has a ball, and then suddenly he hits the ball, and that is the epiphany. It's a show forth. Everything comes at that time. It's a moment of great action, and I find the similarity right there. So for me, I say this. When I retired, I would get a part-time job in a baseball stadium in the summer and then in an opera house in the winter, and that'd be heaven for me.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trail this one 2-0. They're going to try to stay in this one and bring Dylan Lee to the mound as Freddie Freeman comes to the plate. Dylan Lee, first appearance since May 16th. Good times anytime to get him some work. The Braves having the day off on Monday, then they'll be able to sit him for a day or two. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Strike. Good pitch by Lee. That one just dropped below the knees of Freeman. 85-mile-an-hour slider. 0-1. The 0-1 to Freddie. Off the plate wide. 1-1. The 1-1. Pitch on the way. Slider misses. Up top and outer edge. It's 2-1. So a 2-1 count to Freddie Freeman. Atlanta already won the series, but looking for a 4-game sweep in Los Angeles. Trailing 2-0, the 2-1 pitch. Up top, misses, ball 3-1. 3-1 is your count as Dylan Lee be set to face Freddie, Will Smith, and then Max Muncy, assuming no double play. The 3-1 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled down the line, 95 miles an hour on the outer edge. Full count. The 3-2 pitch, Mookie on first, leading off. They set up outside. Lee flips it over to first. Not a overwhelming pickoff move to first, just kind of a flip and a toss over there to keep him close by. Braves 3, Braves nothing, Dodgers 2, the 3-2 count. Lee swung on, banged over to second. It's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. So a good start to Dylan Lee's return. He threw the slider out there and he went over the top of it, dragged it over to Ozzie. Though Freddie Freeman's always been a good base runner, has never had a ton of speed, so a fairly routine double play. Taylor made as Ozzie Albies was standing right there. That'll bring Will Smith to the plate. Will Smith, lefty-righty matchup, pitch on the way, 92. Right there for a strike, it's 0-1. Really makes you wish the Braves had played more of a halfway depth on that infield playing in when Mookie was at the plate. The 0-1 pitch, misses high, 1-1. If you're just joining us, the Dodgers scored from a RBI double from Rojas. He made it to third on a errant throw by Arcia during that play. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss inside. It's 1-2. And then with the infield drawn all the way in, and I mean onto the grass a couple of feet, a high hopper got over the glove of Arcia, and that's where we stand. The 1-2 pitch misses high and wide. It's 2-2. The 2-2 kicks and deals, swung on. That ball is rifled fair down the left field line. Into the corner. Will Smith will pull up at second with a 2-out triple. And the Dodgers still batting here in the top of the fifth. Man, oh man alive. I've seen the Braves have a lot of bad celebrations. I've had a lot of good celebrations. Some I've liked, some I've been like, eh. This Dodger celebration with the hand shaking back and forth, that thing is cringeworthy. I am so glad they have not embraced something this bad. So Max Muncy will come to the plate. Pitch on the way. Up top for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Lets it fly. Down and in. 1-1. The 1-1 lefty-lefty matchup. Dylan Lee comes set. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. The 1-2 count. Muncy looks into Darnote, who sets up behind home plate. It's just off the outer edge. Lee looks back the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Blew it right by him out up top. Think Muncy might have been looking for the local and got the express. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Baseball on a Sunday, Labor Day edition.
Mouse, mice, right? House, heist. It makes sense, man. You right,
No,
bro.
you all are making up words. These words you've never heard. Like, just because it rhymes doesn't make it a word. Like, listen, like, I don't understand. Like, we went to the same school. I don't know where we missed each other and how the lines across. I don't know what happened. I don't. But listen, that's not a word. It's just house.
So it's okay for you to make up words, but we can't.
I'm not making up words. Look, I'm done, bro. Trying to help y'all grow, man. You teaching 5-year-olds me. I'm scared for our future.
It's very important that when you get in the batter's box to prepare to hit a baseball, you're fearless. You can't be scared of getting hit with the ball. If you're scared of getting hit with the ball, if you're back on your heels and a scout's watching in the stands, he's going to put a big X down by your name. It means you have no chance of ever becoming a baseball player. So don't be scared of getting hit with the ball. Look at it like this. If you get hit with the ball, you get to go to first base. That makes it faster to get around the home and score a run. So we're not scared. We're in the batter's box. Now, the next thing, we got to get a stance that feels comfortable to us. Don't try to copy my stance, or don't copy George Brett's stance or Wade Boggs' stance or Mike Schmidt's stance. Get the stance that's comfortable to you. I just happen to have a stance that's pretty well spread out because I hit off my back foot. And don't worry about how you stand or how you look. And I don't hit the ball on the plate. If I hit it over the plate, that's a foul ball. So you hit the ball out in front of the plate, 8 inches out in front of the plate. You have to hit the ball out in front in order to hit a fair ball.
My first memory of baseball is radio, listening on the car radio to Red Barber talking from Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. My father wanted to know how the games were going on. He was following Brooklyn. My mother and I was an only child, driving in the car, began to listen, I suppose, out of self-defense. And both of us, at about the same time, my mother and I, became caught up in the drama of the game.
DiMaggio swinging at the whistling line drive to left center field. It's a base hit. It's taken on the second hop.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trailing 2-0, but that could have been a lot worse. First pitch on the way to Orlando Arcia. Top of the zone, called for a generous strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Down and away, 1-1. Orlando Arcia, Harris, and Acuna due up. The 1-1 from Miller. Fastball misses outside, ball 2, 2-1. Bobby Miller's been absolutely dealing today. He's given up 2 hits. Struck out only 3, but he has just been hard to hit. The 2-1 pitch, 98 at the knees, 2-2. When a guy can throw that hard, it can spot it up and down, and in and out, then mix up a couple of off speeds. That is a very, very deadly combination. The 2-2 pitch. Down and away, ball 3, 3-2. For my money, from what I've seen of the Dodgers pitching staff, outside of Clayton Kershaw, I think he's got the best stuff that's currently healthy. They are expecting Walker Buehler to make some kind of contribution. The 3-2 pitch, 99 inside, spun him around, strike 3. Good Lord, that thing came right in his kitchen, and Arce was trying to hit a 6-run home run with that swing, but instead he Tasmanian deviled himself into the ground, corkscrewed, and there's one away. Michael Harris, the second, steps in. First pitch, 100 miles an hour, and it's 1-0. Yeah, the sweep would be great, but look, they've won. Can you believe this road trip is the 1-0 down and in 2-0? Took 2 of 3 from San Fran in San Fran. Sweep the Rockies when a rookie makes his debut. So that took them to 5-1 on the road trip. They're currently 8-1 on this road trip. Nobody does that out west. The 2-0 pitch swung on and rifled foul down the line. 2-1. I thought we would get a higher scoring game. There's still a lot of game to go, but man, tell you what, that ball Harris hit into the crowd down the line, that was closer than I thought. It just went foul down the left field foul pole. The 2-1 pitch, 99 outside, 3-1. They were, we talked about when the road trip first started, the 3-1 pitch swung on, banged over to second. It's going to be a fairly easy 4-3 putout. Harris was busting it down the line, almost beat that out. Betts got him by about a half step. Kind of a nonchalant flip over there. Betts almost got caught sleeping. There's 2 away. It's the third time this series that I've noticed Betts is kind of slow to get to the ball and get his feet set. And that might have something to do with the fact that he hasn't played second base as routinely as an Ozzie Albies has in his career. That could come to bite them in the playoffs. I know he's known as a pretty good defensive second baseman, but I've just noticed a few plays. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1. Well, what do you know? Thanks for bringing that up, Terry. Baltimore and Arizona are tied up 4-4. The game is in the 5th. The 1-1 pitch inside, 2-1. Mentioned this earlier, but the Braves' magic number for the best record in Major League Baseball is 22. For the National League, it's 21. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 99, just over the Caps. It's 2-2. For the National League East, it is down to just 12. The 2-2 pitch, just got a piece of that. A stitch or two to foul it off the plate. We'll do it again. Good to see some of the folks I didn't see earlier in here. Margaret, Terry, D. The 2-2, righty-righty matchup. Miller lets it fly. Swung on and rifled high, but not very deep, coming in, giving chase. A sliding catch by Jason Hayward. He jumps up screaming to the crowd, "We're not going to get swept." Well, you still might. We'll be back in a flash.
We're not generally comfortable in an office setting, I would say.
I get cooped up.
I won't go into an office that's ever been used before.
I am no good before 11 a.m.
I also get headaches from computers, so I can't be around them for too long.
I take stuff.
I need to have someone go up and down with me in the elevator.
I have a weakness for sweets.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Here's Pete Rose. Once again, they give him a standing ovation.
Armchair.
I was talking to my mama today, and she said, "My God, it's so hot. The humidity is horrible." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I feel like a meth pipe on a payday." And she just looked at me, and I was like, "No, really, though. I saw 2 crackheads putting copper back in that air conditioner."
During the 1970s and 80s, the war in Vietnam came to an end, and an American president was driven from office in disgrace. The Berlin Wall came down, and the Cold War ended. Democratic ideals flourished. By 1970, the national pastime was in trouble. Attendance had not increased for more than 2 decades, and desperate owners tried everything to pump new life into the old game. Nothing worked. Now, the owners' grip on the destinies of the players was finally broken. And as their prospects improved, fans returned to the game. But old loyalties were sometimes forgotten. Now, what happened off the field, greed, scandal, strikes, seemed to overshadow the action on it. And now, as television demanded that most games be played at night, a whole generation of young fans would come of age without ever seeing a World Series game.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Your Atlanta Braves trail 2-0. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's about that time to turn back time, so we'll try to squeeze these in as we go along. Bottom of the 6th inning, and coming to the plate is Brad Hand. Will come in, the left-hander. Good outing by Dylan Lee, by the way. Ahmed Rosario comes to the dish. The first pitch on the way. He's pinch hitting for Peralta. He's right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Brad Hand, 4.84 ERA, 44 2/3 innings pitched. The 0-1 pitch. Slider in the dirt. Did he go around? Looked like he might have. He did not. It's 1-1. On this date in Major League Baseball, in 1894, as the 1-1 pitch, Brad Hand comes set. Lifts, rocks, and fires just off the plate wide. 2-1. On this date in 1894, Connie Mack, taking over for the fired skipper Ned Hanlon, leads the Pirates to a 22-1 rout of his former team. The 2-1 pitch misses inside to Hand, ball 3-1. The Washington Senators. The triumph will be the tall tactician, as they used to call him. His first major league win of his record-setting 3,731. The 3-1 pitch swung on, and that ball's going to get dumped into left center field up against the wall. Michael Harris will retrieve it, but it's a leadoff double for Ahmed Rosario, and he does the shaky dance as he stands at second. Nobody out. Connie Mack will go on to win 3,731 victories, collect them with Pittsburgh and later on with the Philadelphia A's, which he also partially owned during his 53-year career in the dugout. That was in 1894. So lefty-lefty matchup. Jason Hayward steps in. Runner on second, nobody out. And he squares up to bunt, bounces it down the line foul. It's 0-1. Jason Hayward, 1 for 2. He was also caught off of first base with his hand in the cookie jar, picked off, which ended that inning. Just made it a nice sliding catch out in right field to end the Braves inning. The 0-1 pitch, right there, top of the zone, intercut. It's 0-2. Braves nothing, Dodgers 2. Bottom of the 6th inning. The 0-2 pitch. Darnode sets up outside wide. It's on the way. Swung on and grounded over to first. It's going to be a productive out. Olsen steps on the bag for out number 1. But on the play, Med Rosario heads down to third, and he's 90 feet away with only 1 out. So 1 down. Coming to the plate now is Chris Taylor. The pitch on the way. Just hits the intercut for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Lefty-righty matchup. Runner at third. Swing, and that ball's hit hard on the ground. Off of Arcia's glove. Turns and fires it over to first. Did they get him? They got him. Good defensive play by Arcia. He had to not only spin and get that hot rocket off his glove, backhanded it, turn around, scoop it up, looking the runner back to third, and then throw an absolute P over there to first base. Good defensive play. That was a hot shot. And a good scoop by Olsen. That shouldn't be overlooked as well. The first pitch on the way to Outman now as there's 2 down. Hits the top of the zone for a strike. Lefty-lefty matchup. It's 0-1. James Outman, 2 walks, a run. The 0-1 pitch. Roll off the plate wide. It's 1-1. Good sliding catch by d'Arnaud. That one could have gotten away. Rosario does have pretty good speeds. That's the last thing you want to do, see that kick away. The 1-1. Hand lets it go. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. One-two count. Braves trail just 2-0. The pitch on the way. Down and away. Ball 2, 2-2. You got a 2-2 count. Brad Hand, his 15th pitch of the inning. d'Arnaud sets up outside wide. Pitch on the way. 93. Caught looking, strike 3. He doesn't like it, but it looks like it clipped the edge. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Baseball.
Tell me one thing that you trust more than President.
Gas station sushi, Somalian cruise line, prostate exam from Captain Hook, Helen Keller flying a plane, a mechanic who tells me my blinker fluid is low, breast milk from Bruce Jenner, a mixed drink from Bill Cosby, a blood transfusion from Charlie Sheen, carpooling with John F. Kennedy, going to the theater with Abe Lincoln, a girl who says, I'm fine, and a rattlesnake with a pet me sign.
Armchair.
Please help us understand, you did last time, why it ain't meese for plural moose.
I do not know why they created it that way. I cannot explain it because I didn't create it.
The scholar. Yeah. Okay, so look, help me understand. Mouse, mice. House, heist. Yeah, that's right. Heist.
It's heist.
So you saying that's wrong too?
House and heist.
It's supposed to be house for 1 and heist for 2 or 3.
Yeah. Heist is not even a... Have you ever heard somebody say something about a whole bunch of heists?
In 1938, MacPhail left Cincinnati and moved to New York to take over the Brooklyn Dodgers. He brought Red Barber with him.
No one ever came up with the expressions that Red Barber had. And so what he brought to New York, to the metropolitan area, was that country flavor that they were not familiar with at all. And so he became part of the language. I mean, there were just a million of them. Suddenly say, I wonder what that looks like when somebody leaps up against the wall or dives headfirst into second or bowls over the catcher. So they would come out to see what they had been listening.
Right field, back goes Ripple, and he can't get it. It's a homer. A mighty smack squarely out over right field.
You're listening to Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trail 2-0. First pitch on the way to Ozzie Albies is dribbled foul down the first base line. It's 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup, pitch on the way, swing and fouls it away. It's 0-2. Bobby Miller now only sitting at 80 pitches. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, nowhere near it. It's strikeout. Rozzy Albies. One away. Braves are slowly running out of opportunities here. We talked about the Jimmy Buffett's greatest songs and appreciate everybody chiming in on their favorites. If I have one to pick, I think mine's He Went to Paris. First pitch on the way to Austin Riley. That'll be an easy out. 6-3 put out, and the Braves swinging early on the first pitch. One of those day game blues that we're come to know for the Braves is biting them again. 5-3 put out, 2 away. Matt Olson coming to the plate. Maybe Matt Olson can at least get off the schneid. He's 0-2. Braves have slowly gone through the batting order because of Bobby Miller's dominance. First pitch on the way from Miller is 99 on the knees on the outer edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Swing, and that ball is belted high and deep. Is it fair? It is fair. Ram-a-lamma ding-dong, a solo shot, and you can get Mr. Matt Olson on the board. His 44th home run of the year, 113 RBIs, 397 happy feet. And your Atlanta Braves are now within 1 run. How about that? I won't even take credit for that because I've been saying that every time he comes to the plate that he's due to break out, or maybe he'll get a home run. But good to see Matt Olson hammer that pitch. That was a hanger. First pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna is outside for a ball. It's 1-0. You can see a big sigh of relief as Arcia's giving him a neck massage as he's walking down the dugout, getting the proverbial monkey off his back. The 1-0 curve hits for a strike. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch, swung on and fisted foul out of play. It's 1-2. It's good to see that get off his back. Even if the Braves can't come back and win this, we head back to Atlanta, and it's not a conversation piece going into the homestand. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, 2-2. That was just a hanger from Bobby Miller. He hanged and Matt Olson banged. That thing got out in a hurry. So a 2-2 count to Ozuna. Pitch on the way, down and away, ball 3, 3-2. Full count to the Big Bear. There are 2 outs, but one swing of the bat now can tie this up. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on and banged that foul down the line. We'll do it again. You know, if we're going to be here, we might as well just go ahead and mess around and sweep this thing. We're now within 1 run. The 3-2 pitch. Swing, and that ball is rifled into the stands down the right field line. Full count once again. Nothing else. They are running the pitch count up on Miller as well. He's now at 91. This is probably his last inning, considering how many ups he's had. The 3-2 pitch, down below the knees, ball 4. And Marcell Ozuna heads down to first. One on, 2 outs. Eddie Rosario be the man coming to the plate. Righty-lefty matchup. It doesn't look like they're going to make a pitching change. It was Mark Pryor, the pitching coach. Yes, that Pryor. Heading out there to talk to Miller. So not Dave Roberts, the manager. So one swing here, as dominant as Miller has been, one swing could turn this whole thing around. Marcell Ozuna stands on first base. If we were a little deeper in the game, you'd probably see a pinch runner. Remember, if it comes to a haul here, the Braves with the expanded roster, we have Forrest Wall back, who is an excellent base runner. They'll leave Ozuna in case he gets another at bat. The first pitch on the way to Eddie Rosario is a swing and a miss fastball, 99 miles an hour, right down the pipe. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. They set up outside wide. Eddie digs in, swing, and blows that right by him, 0-2. So two 99ers have absolutely handcuffed Rosario. It should be noted that pitch, they were setting up outside wide, and it came inside. So he's missing his mark. Fatigue could be a factor. The 0-2 pitch swung on, just got a piece of that. Good job to stay alive there, Eddie. We'll do it again. Braves 1, Dodgers 2. Just moments ago, if you're just joining us, Matt Olson hit his 44th home run, his first in 3 weeks. The 0-2 pitch swung on and grounded over to second. That'll end the inning. 4-6 put out, but not before your Atlanta Braves cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Get up and stretch, Braves country. It ain't over yet.
It's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3, stretch around and be home again. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me
You sound better tonight!
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Your Atlanta Braves are back within 1 run. Looks like Bobby Miller is out. 96 pitches, and he's getting handshakes. Hell of a start by the youngster. Leaves with 5 strikeouts, 3 hits, and a walk. Coming into the game, first time in a long time here, is Mr. Ben Heller. He comes firing a bullet out of the pen to Rojas. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch way outside wide. Curveball missing. Going all the way to the backstop. Do it again at 1-1. Rojas RBI double in the 5th really got the floodgates open before Lee could come in and put out the fire. The 1-1 pitch swung on, banged over to third. Austin Riley's got it, flips it over to first, and it's a 5-3 put out for out number 1. Atlanta Braves going for a 4-game sweep in Los Angeles. We were talking about the best Jimmy Buffett songs. I think I would go with A Pirate Looks at 40, but Son of a Sailor, one that is rarely ever talked about, but I've always thought was a great song, well written, is the first pitch on the way to Mookie Betts is scooted up the middle for a 1-out single. Betts is aboard here in the bottom of the 7th, 1 away. The song Fruitcakes, that was a really well-written, funny song that's still timeless to this day. Back to the turn back time as we try to squeeze these in as we go along. On this date, 1928, the great Ty Cobb collects his last hit of his career as a pinch hitter, doubling off right-hander Bump Hadley. First pitch on the way to Freeman is swung on and fouled straight back. It's 0-1. In the Athletics, Philadelphia Athletics loss, 6-1 loss to the Senators at Griffith Stadium. The 41-year-old Georgia Peach will end his playing days as the 0-1 pitch swung on and grounded over to second, and it's going to be another 6-4, 6-3. He just beat it out. Thought we were going to have an inning-ending double play. Freeman hit into a double play his last time up. Just beats that one out by about a half step, and there's 1 on, 2 away. Good hustle by Freddie Freeman. I'd like to get a second look at that. It was close, but I do think he beat it out. Will Smith will come to the plate. For whatever reason, they're not showing the replay. First pitch on the way to Will Smith is swung on and bang foul down the third base line. It's 0-1. Back to the Ty Cobb. The 41-year-old Georgia Peach will end his playing days establishing the major league mark of 4-1-9-1. Most hits in major league history until Pete Rose surpasses it in 1985. It's the 0-1 pitch to Smith, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. And it is high time, long overdue, put Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe in the Hall of Fame. It's been long enough. Ben Heller flips it over to first, keep Freeman close by. The 0-2. Righty-righty matchup. Curveball way wide. Goes all the way to the backstop. Heller, my word, nowhere near. That's the second really wild curveball he's thrown. Freeman will scoot up to second base. Now the third run of the game is sitting in scoring position. You remember when he got sent down, he was having a hard time commanding that pitch. Looks like more of the same from Heller. Really hard to hit when he's on, but man, oh man, you can't have those kinds of errors. The 1-2 pitch swung on, and that ball is hit high, but not deep. Underneath it is Eddie, and that'll end the inning. So the Dodgers threaten but fail to score, but when we come back, Travis d'Arnaud, Orlando Arcia, and Money Mike come into the dish.
I'm a gigolo. How much do you think I could charge at night?
Here or in Japan?
Forget Japan. How much would you pay?
Oh, I don't know. $1?
I think I'm worth at least $300.
Oh, I don't think so.
For all night.
I know. You're a gigolo.
Yeah, well, you hired me. I'm the victim here.
Did I force you into this life?
Yes. You and every woman like you.
Geico knows there are many reasons why you ride. From the exciting adventure of the daily commute to the peace of mind that Geico always has your back with 24/7 access to claim service and legendary customer service. But Pamela Mund had one reason in particular.
My skin is extremely averse to most fabrics, except for the soft, buttery feeling of leather. Thankfully, I found my clan of leather lovers in the biking community. It's been life-changing.
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Braves country today. today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country Today, Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country Today, we go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
Laborers leave the shade and quiet of a shop for the sun and fury of a ball ground. They stand and they exercise for hours. They attest that they mean to be men and not machines. Athletic games carry men back to their days of childhood. There is indeed, morally, a home base in all of them, as there is literally in baseball.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Talking about the great Jimmy Buffett today. And his passing too soon, 76 years old. It really stunned me when I saw the news yesterday. Go back to the turn back time here for a second. On this date, 1957, Braves turn back time. The Milwaukee Braves left-hander Warren Spahn, with his 8-0 whitewashing of the Cubs at Wrigley Field, sets a National League mark for shutouts thrown by a southpaw. The future Hall of Famer has held opponents to 41 shutouts over his career, the record previously shared by Epper Rixey and Larry French. First pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud from Shelby Miller. So it's Miller to Miller. Miller, the ex-Brave, the hard-throwing right-hander, 94-mile-an-hour fastball right down the pipe. For a strike, it's 1-1. Miller came in last night, fired a perfect inning. The 1-1 pitch, swung on and hit fairly softly on the ground over to short. Should be an easy putout. It is 6-3 is the putout, and there's one away. That'll bring Orlando Arce to the plate, who hit a home run last night, a 3-run jack that won the game in extras. We've got one more turn back time. On this date in 1962, the expansion New York Mets are blanked for the 30th time that season, losing to the Buccos 2-0. The Mets tie the 1906 Senators as the first pitch misses inside 1-0. For the second most times a team had been held scoreless, the 1908 Cardinals mark will remain the major league mark. The 1-0 pitch, swung on, pops it up, can of corn high in the sky, and there's two away. Should be noted, tying the 1906, 1908 marks, that was in the middle of the dead ball era. 1962 was not the dead ball era. That was how bad that expansion team was. Famously said by Casey Stengel about midway through the season, he famously said in a press conference, "Can't anybody out here play this game?" First pitch on the way to Michael Harris is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Harris, 2-8. The 1-0 pitch right there at the knees for a strike. 1-1. Michael Harris. Oh for today, 0 for 2. Pitch on the way, swung on. That ball is laced. That's going to get down where the green grass grows into right center field, up against the wall. Here comes Michael Harris. He'll fly around first, heading into second, and your Atlanta Braves have the tying running at second base. And Ronald Acuna Jr. coming to the plate. That one got way too much of the plate, and Harris did not miss a lick. Hammered it into the gap. So the Braves, who have been thoroughly dominated in this game by the pitching of the Dodgers, have a chance to tie this up. First pitch on the way to Acuna is 95 right down the pipe. It's 0-1. Ronald Acuna Jr., he's 0 for 3. Does have 3 home runs in the series against the Dodgers. The 0-1 pitch. Inside, almost gets him. 1-1. Standing on deck is the Wiz, Ozzie Albies. Righty-righty matchup. Acuna 0 for 3 with 2 flyouts and a strikeout. The pitch inside. Ball 2. 2-1. So he started him off with the 94 fastball, then faded in back-to-back times with the splitter. Mid-80s. You wonder if he'll go back to that fastball outside if he's just setting him up. The 2-1 pitch. Inside. That time the fastball. 3 pitches back-to-back, all inside, and it's 3-1. So he definitely doesn't want Acuna to get his arms extended. But now he's down 3-1. Harris leading off his second, but the game is at the plate. The pitch on the way, swung on and pops it up. Should be easily playable. It is high in the sky. Outman will make the catch, and that'll end the inning. Braves threaten but fail to score. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Braves trail by just 1.
So we pull up our canoe, and there are like 400 Indians with arrows aimed right at us. I'm starting to freak a little.
Actually, it was probably closer to 300.
Okay, thanks, Clark. So I say, we come in peace.
Well, no offense, but it was actually Sacagawea who said that.
Right. Well, luckily we brought plenty of beaver furs.
Pelts.
Do you want to tell the story, Clark?
Here is the time that Babe Ruth fought the wall, and the wall won. July 5th, 1924. In Ruth's first at bat, he slapped a double to right field that moved leadoff hitter Whitey Witt to third. In the fourth, with 2 outs and a runner on third base, Senators first baseman Joe Judge connected on a pitch that went down the right field line. Seeing this, Ruth sprinted to the left, hoping to end the Senators' scoring opportunity. As the ball dropped foul into the crowd, bam! Ruth ran full force into the wall and dropped unconscious to the grass. Immediately, both the Yankees trainer and uniformed police hurried to the Babe's aid. At first, they thought he had hit his chin on the concrete, but they soon discovered that he had been knocked out by a jolt in the solar plexus. He also hurt his left leg at the hip. Ruth would eventually come to after 5 long minutes. Aside from the noticeable limp, you would never know he was hurt. In his next at-bat, in the top of the 6th, he would double off the center field wall. Ruth would finish 3 for 3, and the Yankees would go on to win the first game 2-0. After the final out of the second game, Ruth was diagnosed with a bruised pelvic bone. Despite the news, he wouldn't miss any time, and he would go 3 for 4 and belt his 22nd home run of the season the very next day.
Ruth's Far Eastern tour was a triumph. When he got back, he learned that the Yankees, team that he had built, had decided to dispense with his services and had no intention of making him a manager. He turned down an offer to run their best farm team as beneath his dignity. Instead, he joined the worst club in the National League, the Boston Braves, lured by a vague promise of becoming manager the following season. The Braves never really meant to give him the manager's job. The main hope was that his mere presence would boost receipts.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Thanks for smashing that like, chopping down the sign. Get that out of the way, expand the screen a little better, get a little better view. And then Heller goes back to work. First pitch was a strike looking. Second pitch was a strike looking. Both of them a sinker. First one high, second one down low. It's 0-2. Thanks for the heads up, KD. We had Jason of CBS take care of that. The 0-2 righty-righty matchup. The pitch on the way. Swung on and a tapper back to the mound. Heller's got it. Flips it to first. And it's a 1-3 put out. Good wide. No, he's not. The throw leads him off. Bad throw by Heller. Olsen tries to stretch, and Heller is having a heller of a time, not just hitting the plate, but hitting the base. He's had 3 wild pitches so far. Now he can't even throw it over to first. Olsen tried to do the stretch, but just got him off the bag. So 1 on, nobody out. Was looking like it was going to be a good start to the inning, but now Colton Wong comes on. Wong had that home run earlier in the series. The first pitch on the way. It is a hopper, one hopper to Arcia. He stands on second, fires it down to first, and it's a 6-3 putout, double play. Your Atlanta Braves erase the error. How about that? How about that? Good throw. An impressive throw by Arcia, too, because if you look at the replay, first of all, the ball about ate him up as a high hop. But when he stepped on second base to throw it, it was on his off foot. He threw it off of his right foot. As a right-hander, that usually spells disaster. It was an absolute bullet to Olsen. First pitch on the way to Jay is a strike up top for a pitch up top for a strike. It's 0-1 through the cutter at 86. The 0-1 pitch swung on, and that ball's laced into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So 1 on, 2 outs. That double play's even bigger right now. Unbelievable defensive play by Arcia. Can't get over it. That ball would have ate most shortstops up. And to be fair, his eyes were closed at the end, so sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. First pitch on the way. Chris Taylor takes the first pitch outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Chris Taylor's 0 for 2. He did walk in the second. The Dodgers, Brewster Gratterall is warming up in the pen to close it out. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Cutter off the edge. It's 1-1. 1-1. Righty-righty matchup. Heller kicks and deals down and away. 2-1. Good to see everybody here on a Labor Day Sunday. Make sure to subscribe today to the Braves Country HD YouTube channel. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 2-2. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry. We bring every game to you, come Heller or high water. Ben Heller, a 2-2 count, righty-righty matchup. The pitch on the way, swung on, just got a piece of that, drops it into the crowd. We'll do it again. Hit that scoreboard. Really the only game of interest, Baltimore 8-4 over Arizona in the 7th. The Braves, if they could come back, could still cut their, good Lord, another wild pitch up against the screen. I mean, that curveball is just unbelievably. He's got to quit throwing it. It's nowhere near the plate. Another wild pitch by Heller. Jason Hayward will easily scoot up to second base, and now he's in scoring position. The 3-2 righty-righty matchup on the way inside, ball 4. So he goes back to that sweeper again, and it's nowhere near the zone, this time inside. Now you got runners on first and second. Two out. And Outman coming in. Remember, they've already used Hand. I don't think Minter would be available today because he's had a couple of back-to-back games where he's came in. First pitch on the way is up the middle and dribbles through. Here comes Hayward. He'll score, and the Dodgers now lead 3-1. So the sloppy play comes back to burn Ben Heller, and the Braves trail by 2. So now you really hate that heading to the 9th inning because now it's going to take a bloop and a blast. And really, if you look at it, that was terrible defense. I thought I saw that correctly. The ball was a comebacker to Heller. It's like he had a hole in his glove. Terrible defense. he should have had that play. I thought I missaw it the first time. I don't know if he needs bifocals or what on the mound there. First pitch on the way. It's right there at the strike at the knees of Rojas. It's 0-1. Braves have won the first 3 games of this series. So any way you cut it, they'll have a commanding lead over the Dodgers for best record in baseball, but you'd love a sweep. The pitch on the way to Rojas is well outside wide for a ball. It's 1-1. This might be Ben Heller's inning no matter what he does here. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled back. It's 2-1. Don't be surprised if you see him moved off the roster once again. They were trying to get him together because remember midseason he was darn near unhittable. The 1-2 pitch misses high. 2-2. And though there's parts of Ben Heller that I like because he's got just a funky delivery, almost Michael Tonkin-like, where it's hard to pick up, but he's got to be more consistent. The 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on, hit that ball hard down the first base line. We'll do it again. So with Lee used and Hand used, they don't have another lefty in the bullpen because I don't think A.J. Minter is up for duty today. The 2-2 pitch swung on, pops it up, should be playable. Can of corn. Matt Olson, the Ice House, makes the catch in foul territory. That'll end the inning. But out before Heller coughs up one. We'll be back in a flash. The Braves are down by 2, going to the 9th, but the heart of the order is coming to the plate.
Do you sometimes sit and just be thinking like, man, I can't believe my best friend's a thug? You're not a thug. Yes, I am a thug. You're not a thug. Yes, I am. How are you a thug? I took hip-hop classes, Chad.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. In the 1995 MLB draft, the Montreal Expos chose a 17-year-old catcher from San Mateo, California, named Tom Brady. But Brady decided to pursue football instead. Because Tom Brady has been playing for so long, he's become the last person drafted by the Expos to still be playing professional sports.
Hey, Braves Country. Braves Country HD is bringing you Braves Country Baseball. Braves Country comes to you every Tuesday night and Friday night and 2 bonus games every week. Hi, I'm Mac Magee, and we'll be bringing you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch of your Atlanta Braves. It's free to listen. Please like and subscribe. YouTube.com/@Braves Country. Braves Country Baseball for the fans, by the fans.
The 1906 Chicago Cubs, believed by many to have been the best team in baseball history. They moved smoothly to the pennant that year, winning 116 games and losing just 36. One key to the Cubs' consistency was their infield, the celebrated double play combination of Tinker to Evers to Chant. Chicago fans loved them, but they did not much like each other, or anyone else for that matter. First baseman and manager Frank Chance fined his players $10 if they so much as shook hands with an opposing player. Second baseman Johnny Evers was so touchy that his teammates called him the human crab, and he missed one entire season after suffering a nervous breakdown. Shortstop Joe Tinker was ordinarily a cheerful man, but even he refused to speak with Evers for 2 whole seasons after a quarrel over cab fare.
Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves trailing 3-1. Looks like Goat woke up from his nap. Welcome back, Goat. Braves trail at 3-1. Brewster Gratterall, hard-throwing right-hander, stepping in against Ozzie Albies. First pitch on the way, 98 up top, blew it right by him, top of the zone. It's 0-1. The 0-1 to Ozzie. Pitch on the way, 96 up high, 1-1. So a 1-1 count to Ozzie. Standing on deck is Riley. In the hole, Matt Olson. The 1-1 pitch swung on, foul down the line. 1-2. Braves trail by 2 here in the 9th inning. But if you're looking for that sweep, there's no better part of the order to be in. Matt Olson, if you're just joining us, hit his 44th home run of the year, breaking his drought since early on in August. The 1-2 pitch swung on and just got a piece of that. Maybe a stitch or two to tap it off the plate. We'll do it again. It's 1-2. Dodgers 3, Braves 1, top of the 9th. Nobody out. The pitch on the way. 98 miles an hour, high and wide. 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Pitch way up high and wide. Ball 3-2. So he's run the count full now to Ozzie Albies. Ozzie knows his job is to just try and get on. Open stance from the left side. They set up outside. Ball 4. Pitch misses high and wide. And here we go, Braves country. Ozzie Albies heads down to first. Nobody out. Austin Riley, been very quiet this series, takes the first pitch inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Riley 0 for 3 with a fielder's choice, a fly out, a ground out. The 1-0 pitch inside almost gets him. Ball 2, 2-0. Will Smith's going to go out there and talk to Gratterall, saying something like, keep my name out your mouth. I've been wanting to squeeze that in all series. Will Smith will head back to home plate. You don't want Riley getting hurt, but you almost kind of wish he hadn't gotten out of that pitch. That pitch went inside. Easy for me to say standing here, sitting here, 96 inside hitting you in the ribs would not be ideal, but man, oh man, you kind of wish it had brushed his jersey or something. The 2-0 pitch right there at the knees for a strike, intercut. It's 2-1. The tying run is standing at the plate. Ozzie Albies at second. The 2-1 pitch swung on and hit hard on the ground, but right at third base, it's going to be a 5-4-3 double play. Riley's been hitting into a lot of double plays second half of this season, and there's 2 away. Rally killer right there, but you do have Matt Olson coming to the plate, and you do have Ozuna standing on deck. So Gratterall's not out of the woods yet. He had to know that's where he was going. He's got that sinking fastball to a right-hander. That's tailor-made to pull on the ground in turn 2. First pitch to Olson, who's up top for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch misses outside. 1-1. 1-1 your count. The Braves trail by 2. The 1-1 pitch, high and out of the zone, 2-1. So a 2-1 count to Olson. Gratterall working pretty quickly. Marcell Ozuna stands on deck. The 2-1 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled straight back. It's 2-2. Braves down to their last strike. Dodger fans are coming to their feet. Braves trying to do the unthinkable, sweep the Dodgers in a 4-game series in Dodger Stadium. The 2-2 pitch swung on and bang foul again. We'll do it again. Dodger faithful are out there trying to root on Gratterall. I'm sure if you asked them in the stands, the last thing they thought they were coming out to watch today was a team trying to be avoided from being swept. The 2-2 swing, and that ball's lifted into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Matt Olson keeps it going. Keep that line moving, baby. 1 on, 2 out. kind of a dinker and a dunker, 88 miles an hour off the bat, dropped it into a perfect place in between the center fielder Outman as it was fading away. Taylor had no chance in left field to catch up to it. So runner on first, 2 outs, and here comes Ozuna. He's due. It's been 5 or 6 at bats since he's hit 1 out. First pitch on the way. 99 up top. For a strike, it's 0-1. On the play, Matt Olson moves up to first on defensive indifference. So the force is out. The 0-1 pitch swung on and rifled foul and out of play. Braves once again are down to their final strike. (0-2) count to Ozuna. Righty-righty matchup. Gratterall, 20th pitch of the inning. Pitch on the way, off the plate wide. It's 1-2. If the Big Zoo can keep it going, Eddie Rosario stands on deck. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good slider. Got him. And that'll end the inning. Your Atlanta Braves lose a tough one, 3-1, as Bobby Miller was absolutely dealing today. Good young right-hander for the Dodgers. He'll get the win. 7 innings pitched with 5 strikeouts, 3 hits, a run, and a walk. Charlie Morton will get the loss. He went 4 innings. His pitch count went way too high, 2 earned runs. But you could also count some of the bad breaks to, if Heller does not give up that run in the ninth, in the bottom of the 8th, the Braves have a much better chance of climbing back into it. Much different game being down 2 as opposed to down 1 heading into the 9th. But anyway, you look at it, your Atlanta Braves won the series, a 4-game series. They take 3 of 4 in LA. The magic number for the NL East is still 12. The magic number for home field throughout the National League is still going to be sitting at 21 and 22 for home field throughout the playoffs. For the Dodgers now to win best record in the National League, they would have to surpass the Atlanta Braves. If you remember, we came in 4 games in front of the Dodgers. We were 7 today. We go back down to 6, but it is a 7-game lead because the Dodgers lost the season series to Atlanta, and they would have to have a better record than the Braves to get home field. That'll do it for us. Braves drop a tough one here in LA, but all in all, you got to be thrilled, not just with this series as the Braves take 3 of 4, but a road trip out west where Atlanta wins 7 of 10 games. I'm sorry, 8 of 10 games. 8 of 10 games. Sorry. They're 8-2. I had that backwards in my head. 8-2. They went 3-1 in LA, 3-0 in Colorado, and 2-1 in San Francisco. 8-2 on a road trip out west, unheard of. We will see you on Tuesday night, pitch by pitch, play by play for your Atlanta Braves. We'll welcome the Cardinals into town. They have not announced a starter yet. They have pushed everyone back a day, give them extra rest. My guess is Vines gets called back up. We'll see what happens. They may decide to bring someone else in. It's not quite time to see Soroka. We're about a little less than 2 weeks away from that, and Kyle Wright still probably has a couple of more starts down on the farm. So Braves lose a tough one, but the road trip, come on now, 8-2. You got to love that, Braves country. Congrats to the Dodgers. Good game by Mr. Miller, but I'll take 3 out of 4 on your home turf any day of the week. We will see you next time, Braves country. Enjoy your night, and don't forget Tomahawk chop year round. Go Seminoles. Beat that LSU.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to Braves Country Baseball. With Mac Magee, we're proud to bring you year number 3. Braves Country Baseball comes your way Tuesdays and Friday nights and 2 more bonus games for a total of 4 games a week. You can also catch Braves Country, our daily sports talk show. We go live 3 to 5, 99.1 FM WQEE, Metro Atlanta. Other CBS, ESPN, and independent affiliates nationwide, and simulcast on youtube.com/@BravesCountry. Find Braves Country HD today wherever you stream. Your first choice for Southern sports and the deepest bench in sports talk.
Something of the 5th of September. Something of the 5th of September. She said a lot that I can't remember. Something of the 5th. Can I get another cigarette, please? Can I get another cigarette, please? Yeah, I know I live to regret it. Just give me another cigarette, please. Can I get another cigarette, please?
You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia, home of Braves Country with Mac Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks, weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on The Key and youtube.com/Braves Country. Lineup for yesterday by Ogden Ash. A is for Alex, the great Alexander. More goose eggs he pitched than a popular gander. B is for Bresnahan, back of the plate. The Cubs were his love and McGraw his hate. C is for Cobb, who grew spikes, not corn, and made all the basemen wish they weren't born. D is for Dean, the grammatical diz. When they asked who's the tops, said correctly I is. E is for Evers, his jaw in advance, never afraid to tinker with chance. F is for Fordham, and Frankie and Fish. I wish he were back with the Giants, I wish. G is for Gehrig, the pride of the stadium, his record pure gold, his courage pure radium. H is for Hornsby. When pitching to Raj, the pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. I is for me, not a hard-hitting man, but an outstanding all-time, incurable fan. J is for Johnson, the big train in his prime, was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for LaHoy, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite Ken. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mack. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled, I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. U would be Ubel if Carl wore a cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty, short, closed to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of two X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent sigh. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there. These men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Nash, January 1949, Sport Magazine. Hey Braves fans, I'm Mac Magee with Braves Country. We'll be right here on the key all year long giving you Braves Country baseball, pitch by pitch, inning by inning of your Atlanta Braves. Make sure to catch Braves Country right here on the key. We go live 3 to 5. And we'll keep you up to date on the upcoming schedule for Braves Country. That's Braves Country HD and Braves Country baseball right here on the key. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with one inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer cooled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the umpire! Shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two." "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner.